We live. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to the We Got Action podcast, episode 20. Hey,
20.
that shit's crazy.
2-0.
I'm not gonna lie. That shit is crazy. We've been trying to stay super consistent for y'all. Only dropped what 1 week since
Yeah.
we've all pretty much, I think only Danny, Isaac missed a couple episodes. You missed a
I missed
few
the
to
first of the
start.
Yeah.
I
But like
missed
for
a
the most
couple.
part, we've been here, bro. So this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Exciting stuff. NBA season starting right now. They're at halftime.
63 all.
Yep, that's the Sixers
Let's
and the
go
Celtics.
Sixers.
Lakers and Dubs later. I agree. Sorry,
I also
Dave.
agree.
So we're gonna be riding with some of our preseason predictions for NBA. A little bit of an altercation going on through Poole and Wiggins getting their money, and then Draymond. There's just a lot of beef has been rolling there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll slide in some NFL recaps. MLB, they're into the championship series. And then some college football, and we got a spicy take at the end. One I'm super passionate about, as y'all know. Run with the SEC.
You better get real fired for that one. This is
Come on
yours.
now. Not
This
as
is
fiery
yours.
as what was I? Jimmy G. I was pretty mad about that one day.
Yeah.
There's a few I'd be getting heated.
Yeah.
Some things tick me off, but analytics, that was the other rant.
Yes.
But we're starting with the NBA. So we talked about Sixers and the Celtics are playing right now. But let's get into I read it wrong. So what are we expecting from these games and these teams?
Mm-hmm. So first game we're starting with 76ers Celtics. What's our expectation this coming season?
Close game.
I
But-
Well, not for
season.
the game, but for the season. What are we expecting? Are we expecting them to be a true
I
championship
think those are
contender?
the top two out of the top three seeds.
yes, in the East, yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even with
think
Rob
they
are
Williams'
the top
comeback delayed.
I think man, the PJ Tucker edition kind of puts the Sixers over the edge for me. I do still like the Bucks, but I think the Celtics will probably round out that top three and be in there.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Rob Will?
Yeah, he got a platelet injection in his knee because I guess his recovery wasn't going as well. So
now
instead
he's
of
out
being
half the
back,
season.
instead of being back
really?
mid-November, he
At least
should be
half the
back.
season.
It's looking like late January or late December, early January at the earliest.
As long as he comes back in time to get some minutes in for playoffs, you're not worried.
I drafted this man as a draft and stash in my fantasy basketball draft.
It's not a bad idea.
Sunday night. Here we are.
I don't think though they replicate last year.
The Celtics?
The Celtics. I don't think
I-
they
What,
do.
regular
Serious?
season or their deep run?
Their deep
What-
run. I don't think they do.
What makes
bro.
you think? Now, the reason I want to ask you a question, what makes you think that? Because I think they got
I
better.
just no 100%.
definitely got
I
better.
believe they got better, but the thing is, we have to see how the interim head coach is really gonna be, because they're saying
True.
pretty much he's gonna try and clone what Ime Udoka was replicating throughout the course of the year, especially in the playoffs. The thing is that we know with a lot of cloning coaching wise, it may not always work the same way. So even though they did get better, 100%, I agree with that. But do they truly have that? Do they truly make that defensive presence that will carry them through the playoffs? A regular season, I'm cool with them. But I believe no matter what, they're going to get to the playoffs. But it's just the playoff when they do get there. How is that team going to actually be? And how is that coaching staff going to come together and try and replicate what they did?
I see the question mark. I definitely think as long as the system stays unchanged, I can see them repeating at least a semifinals run.
And if the drama as well with Ime Udoka doesn't come up a lot during the season as well, I believe that will be a thing, especially if they
will early.
It's
like
gonna
if they
come
struggle,
up regardless.
especially.
Yeah, it's gonna come up regardless. But with the coaching and replicating, I'm not gonna call that much of a factor in a sense, because it's not like he was a part of just one regime. I think it's Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah,
He's been there since Brad Stevens was there.
Right.
So
he
has that continuity with the players already. Outside of a couple of additions like Malcolm Brogdon, but that guy's not a locker room cancer.
No.
So it's things like that. So I think him replicating has nothing to do with it. Why? Because he's already been a part of the culture that's already been established within those two stars of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Right.
So I just think that won't be such of a drop-off. I think it's going to be more of just looking at the fact that Philly got better. Chris Middleton's going to be back from Milwaukee.
Which makes them better right away.
Which makes their teams better already. Cleveland got better. So it's that's what stops them, because now it's some teams that actually compete.
It's deeper. It's just a deeper conference.
Yeah.
All right, so Lakers and Warriors then. So that game's going on in about 9. Central Time for us here. What are you guys feeling about those teams? Obviously, I know how we all feel about the Warriors, top
Lakers
2-3
doo-doo.
team.
Lakers suck, man.
Bro, I love how it's game 1 and they already got that prime time
They're missing like 3 or 4 rotation players as well.
already.
Yeah, Dennis
Like,
Schroeder's gonna be out 3 to 4
saw
weeks
Sch-
because
yeah,
of
I saw
thumb
Schroeder,
surgery.
yep.
Thomas Bryant's out.
Thomas Bryant as well.
Is Russ-
It's
is
already
Russ playing?
starting.
Russ
Bro.
was
Russ
I thought
has
he
a
was
hamstring
questionable
injury.
kind of deal.
He's
Yeah.
probable.
Yeah.
Probable it is
Probable.
now. Okay.
So it's not looking good to start, man. I just
think
think
they
It didn't
worked
look-
this game, bro.
I was gonna say it didn't look to start the preseason,
No.
bro.
That last game that the Warriors were playing, they were running those sequences, Draymond moving, Steph off ball. I mean, they look like, what was it, the one play where Steph was open court, gives it up to Clay, and he just turned up court, didn't even look at it,
Cash.
didn't even look to rebound. They've been doing that shit for
Dre was
almost a
just
decade,
moving,
dude.
screening people out the way like it was
Moving screens,
2016.
yeah, bro.
I think
That's it.
honestly,
What
I think for
championship
my
for?
That's what he
my
does.
expectations though for like the Lakers, I think it's gonna be the same thing as last year.
Playing.
No
I believe-
playoffs.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna
I think
put up more of a fight.
expectations.
I think the fight-
Expectations
I-
versus
I think
what they'll actually do.
I think
you
they have
expect
Just
them to
missing
miss.
I got them just missing the playoffs.
I got them
like,
snagging
right on the
9 or 10
cusp.
this year.
Yeah, I got them
Yeah.
same
Right on
thing
the
snagging
cusp
9
of
or
missing
10.
it.
If AD's healthy, they snag 9 or 10.
Yeah.
AD
The thing
and
is,
LeBron
what if
is too
every-
good.
What if everybody
Yeah.
else
It
isn't
has.
healthy?
See, that's the thing. See, to me, okay, I will change my opinion if Russ is moved. Why? The way he's moving now, it's hard to fight for somebody. He's not in a huddle.
Yeah.
The pregame, postgame, shit going wrong in the middle of the game. He don't want to be in the huddle.
I think
Then
he's
he's gonna move
gone.
him to the bench.
to be
Yeah, then he's gonna
honest,
move him to the bench. I think he is mentally done in LA.
I think he's gone by the trade deadline.
Yeah,
and
Unless they're
have to
killing
move
it.
him.
Which I don't think is likely.
I still
But-
think they move him for pieces they can actually use, even if they're sitting, 5, 6, 7, 8 seed. I still think they move him.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
see why not because at this, well,
If
the
there's
thing-
if there's a team nibbling, I think they shoot on it.
They'd have to then get more value than they'd be getting back in like the most
Mhm.
rumored trade
Right,
because
right,
like the
right,
rumored trade is expiring contracts
Mhm.
for Russ and 2 firsts. Like if you're doing that as a February trade and you don't win championship, it looks
That's
bad.
bad. Yeah.
the thing is with them though, it's gonna. I believe it's not gonna be. I believe it's gonna be more so the desperation from the Lakers
Yeah.
of.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Do-
They've already made bad moves. So yeah,
Like,
it looks
do-
bad, but they've
But
been
like,
doing
do
that.
we truly believe that if we move Russell Westbrook for let's say I believe the most logical trade is to Indiana to get
Right,
Buddy
that's
Hield
what they've
and to
been
Miles
saying.
Turner. I believe that's the most logical trade. Are the Lakers desperate enough to say that if we move Russ and get these 2 players, we are going to make a deep run? That's what the
I would-
front office is going to keep thinking is, are we going
I
to
will say
this team without Russ bring those 2? Are we going to make it truly? Are we going to make it
Better.
competitive?
I think it makes that team a lot better.
Yeah,
I
a
just
lot
think
I
better.
agree.
with the way this roster is constructed, this is why I have them missing it. You have
Mhm.
Dennis Schroeder, Pat Bev, and then after that,
Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn. You have a bunch of guards in a big world, I feel like. So, like, we got Lonzo and them like 6'5" and things like that. You got all these bigger players, and you rocking with Pat Bev, who has no type of offensive game whatsoever in the NBA. Great defensive guy. But you really gonna put the shoulders on LeBron and AD, and we seeing where that's gonna get you every time. The more and more they carry, the more and more I feel like they break down on you. Like
Mhm.
they need somebody to like take that pressure off of them. They gonna miss it. I just think even with you moving Russ, you got a better chance of getting to the play-in or even squeaking into the playoffs.
Yeah. Right.
With getting like Miles Turner, Buddy
I
Hield,
agree.
some guys that
100%.
can just to
Buddy
remove
Hield
that
space the
clogging.
floor. I 100% agree with that.
Mhm.
They got Troy Brown right now. It's not gonna work for them.
Yeah.
And the Warriors, I'm not even worried about, to be honest.
No,
no.
I'd give me top
No.
2. Give me
Yeah.
top 2 seed.
I'm not
They
even.
look
I'm
fluid.
I'm not even worried about them. Clay's going to be a huge difference maker, especially starting out the year that he had that full offseason like we kept on talking about.
A
To
healthy
actually,
offseason. Yep.
yeah, healthy offseason. I'm not even worried about them. I'm going to say 1-2 at most, like seed wise.
I think
in the
at
West.
least Western Conference Finals. I
Yeah.
mean, they could possibly get a
I mean,
really bad matchup. with
yeah,
how the West
honestly,
is, but
I'm
I'll
gonna-
still
I'm
go
gonna say
70.
champ- I'm gonna say finals. I'm gonna say finals, to be honest.
I don't think it's bold at all.
Yeah.
100%. It's.
I'm
I think
gonna
it's
say
pretty safe.
finals.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
put
they can go
them.
for the
I'm gonna put
finals.
them honestly. If again in the finals, I'm gonna have the Warriors, and I feel like I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but I feel like if everybody's fully focused, everybody's there, everybody's healthy, the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, so let's roll into the next segment. Then we got some early
Oh,
predictions
you
for.
did just sit here and say Brooklyn.
All right, well, let's go right here. NBA champion. Then Danny, you got who? If that's your two in the finals, who'd you got winning it then?
I got Warriors
You got the
winning
Warriors
the
repeat?
finals. I got Warriors repeating. I just don't see how you can't, man, because they have what you want. You have that championship experience on one hand, but you also have the youth. And
Yeah.
they built that, even though the depth might be a little bit tricky right now, I don't care. Once you get to the playoffs, you know Steph's gonna be there and perform. That's all I'm saying. Warriors.
I'll say
repeat
Warriors
champion.
too.
I have no issue with that. You need to explain this Brooklyn. This Brooklyn getting to the finals. I need to hear the reason.
I think
he's
I'm gonna
not-
be dead ass with
they
you.
have
If
talent.
they
If they're
100% stay
healthy and focused.
healthy, I agree with that.
Yeah, if they're healthy and focused, they are.
So, okay, here's my
It's the
question.
gauntlet through the top 5 or 6 in the East, but I guarantee you that team
Right.
plays
I don't
healthy
think they
better.
make it through that gauntlet though. Each of those teams ahead of them. It has nothing to do with the production. And I'll even take back what I've said about Ben Simmons because he's shown me something this preseason because he looks like he fits a little
Yes.
bit. But when you look at that Brooklyn Nets team and what's constructed around that team,
I
they
don't
are
think they're
not
deep
better
enough.
than the Boston. They are exactly. And you're gonna run into Boston, who's deep enough, Philly, who's deep enough, Milwaukee.
I
They
don't
role
think
players.
Milwaukee's not deep though. Milwaukee's not deep, but their
Correct.
That's
players,
facts. That's why they
their
fight to the
their
game
starting
7.
5 is better than the Nets
they're-
starting 5.
But here's why I put Milwaukee ahead of them is only because of the new transition
Giannis.
rule. Yes, Giannis, and he's a
Literally.
transition guy. You can't
Right, yeah,
foul
yeah,
Giannis in transition no more.
Right.
That's free for him. So while KD got to work for a bucket, Giannis just running you over and over and over until he misses free throws. That's 3 teams right there. And I just don't think they're going to beat
I don't know
those
about the
3 teams.
finals. I think they have a good chance if they're healthy at ECF at least.
For the Nets.
Yeah, I really do. I think
It all
that team
depends
see
on
that.
paper is
seeding
crazy.
and matchups.
It's
too.
crazy. Right.
Yep.
Like
If you avoid Milwaukee, who keeps, I mean, honestly, if they avoid Milwaukee and Boston,
Yeah.
and Milwaukee and Boston meet up in the semis, I could see the Nets making it.
Yeah,
But I think that Sixers matchup is gonna be tough too.
Yeah, we've talked about their lack of big.
Mhm. I think they beat the rest of the East though.
Well, who's getting to the
Fully healthy.
Who's your champ? Who's your champ?
I have
You-
the
The
Warriors.
You said
Are you
the
talking about
Warriors.
Isaac?
I got Golden State, yeah.
Yeah, I got the Warriors. I was
Golden
gonna
State
say the
still.
Warriors. I even if a lot of people say like a lot of teams are at like that. Oh, if this so and so gets injured, it's over. I think the Warriors are deep enough to the point where Steph or Clay get hurt for an extended period of time. Jordan Poole slides right in. Wiggins gets hurt for a little bit. Moody slides right in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Somebody's
And
But I
don't
think we
sleep on
can-
Dante DiVincenzo.
right.
That's who.
DiVincenzo. They
And I
grabbed.
think, but I
James
think one
Wiseman they
thing,
didn't even have last year.
and I think one thing we can all agree on though is that Steph is the key to that engine right there. They don't have no Steph, they ain't getting nowhere.
I think Jordan Poole's close enough. If the rest of the team,
Not for a championship.
Yeah, not for a championship.
I
run.
would say if Steph goes out, if it was in the playoffs, yeah, they done.
in the
But if it's
playoffs,
like-
yeah. But if,
No,
it,
yeah.
if
If
it's
it's in
like
the
out
middle,
early and
then
then
you
Oh,
can
yeah,
handle
yeah,
that
yeah.
stretch.
establish Jordan
Yeah,
Poole,
we're talking.
Yeah,
I think
no,
Jordan
but
Poole's
I'm talking about
Yeah.
playoffs, like getting
we're
to the
talking like
finals.
a
Like
clutch, right? If he
Yeah.
goes out in the playoffs, there's no
Yeah.
time for them to establish Jordan Poole in that Steph role. But I definitely think
Yeah.
if Steph, halfway through the year goes out, I
He
sleeping
kind of
on Jordan
already in
Poole.
that role.
That's what I'm saying. When Steph's when it's the second unit and Jordan Poole's out there,
That's
he
like his
looks like
role.
Steph. That's what he
who-
does.
So then, since we're all in agreement for pretty much the Warriors,
Yeah, what'd you say? You
yeah, what you said?
I haven't
He has
said.
Clippers.
I'm gonna pick the Clippers. I think we talk
That was my
about depth.
second pick.
We talk about depth, man. I think the Clippers are
deepest team.
probably the deepest team in the league.
My only problem with them is they got dogs on defense, but when you're shooting from 35 feet away, 3 or 4
Yeah.
different guys, it doesn't
I
matter.
just thought I'd
It's
bet
the
the Paul
only thing.
George.
The only thing I've always said about the Warriors and why they're so hard to beat.
Yeah.
And then they defend, in my opinion, on par with a lot of those Clippers guys.
Yeah, so
100%.
I mean, I also want to just like it's boring if we all pick the same team.
I agree.
I think it's
I agree.
easy to it always looks best to pick the champ unless they've made they had some big losses in offseason. Like when you talk about like when Milwaukee won, they were the favorites to win it the following year.
I had Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Brooklyn and the
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah,
but like
At Phoenix.
Weird.
don't get me started, bro.
yeah, I think it's harder to
We
repeat
had that last time.
than the Warriors have made it seem over the years.
Yeah.
It's
over the
crazy,
years.
isn't it?
And I think it'll go elsewhere. I'm gonna go with Clippers.
Then if y'all had to truly pick a dark horse, I'll start it off. as a dark horse. Obviously, I believe we're kind of along the lines of Warriors, Clippers, along those lines.
Nets, Bucks. Yeah.
Should we
those
just say
Celtics.
like no top 3 to 4 seed then?
I
Well,
believe
let's see.
this
Set
team
the
will
tone,
be.
Danny. Set
I
the
believe
tone.
this team will be a top 3-4 seed. I'm actually gonna go with the Nuggets.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think it's very good. I think a lot of people are forgetting. Granted, he's got an ailing back injury, lingering, I should say, since
Yeah.
college. I think people are
Especially
forgetting how
Jamal
good he
Murray.
is. I think people are forgetting how good Jamal was.
Yes,
And then when you put those two types of players
and
next
that
to what Jokic can
and
do,
that
I
and
think
that
they've
team is deep.
They've improved defensively around those guys who aren't
Mhm.
necessarily great defenders. So like they got KCP at the 2, and then they can run Aaron Gordon.
Bones
at the
Highland.
he's also
Bones Highland is a
he's
dog.
athletic enough to
Yeah.
do a lot of
And
different
Bones
things.
Highland is the X factor, to be
Oh
honest
my
with
God,
you.
dude, that kid
That
is
is their sleeper.
so nuts, bro. The amount of
He's going to be
he's
that
got
key.
such a street ball game in him that he can just do whatever the hell he wants one on one on somebody. Yeah, and
Mhm.
he's just so long,
Yeah.
skilled, but it's like I wouldn't even say it's like pure skill. It's just that natural fluidity. He's nuts, dude.
But yeah,
I like him a lot.
that's
I like that,
that's my dark horse to win.
That's a good
Because
pick.
I feel like in the
That's a very
East,
good pick.
I feel like in the East it's kind of like depending all on health, and I feel like we know a lot about those teams already
Mhm.
coming in. But I feel like the Nuggets, people are sleeping on Jamal, people are sleeping on MPJ if he is healthy. But being able to surround Jokic with all of that for a full season, for a full playoff run, I think that'll be a scary team, especially if they do get rolling. So that's my dark horse for next year.
Yeah,
Really
that's
go
not
on.
fair.
My
go-
dark horse.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
you
ahead.
go- My
I
dark
don't want to
horse
steal you. I feel like I usually steal your shit.
is, I would have said my Phoenix Suns, but I'm gonna rock with the Dallas Mavericks.
You fucker. See, and that's why I didn't go. That's why I didn't
And
go.
I had a funny take though. What would be the best thing in the world was for my Phoenix Suns to open the season up on Wednesday against Dallas and get their ass whooped again. That's what I was just thinking. Like, that's exactly what I was just thinking. You just wake up on a nice Wednesday to start the season. Just lost in game 7 by like 60. Shit, start the season, I'll lose by 60 again, because that's what it's going to look like right now. All right? I just think with the way Luka is going to come, I just think the way Luka is looking in terms of his body fit, oh, God, I feel sorry for the rest of the NBA. That's all I got to really say.
I agree. That was going to be my pick, so I'll slide in with my second pick. I got New Orleans.
Shit.
I got
Damn
the
it.
Pelicans. I think with Zion talking about your Phoenix Suns, who got a little, if not stayed stagnant, but got a little worse depending on the Jay Crowder situation. Pushed them to 6 games, could have pushed them to a 7th. Obviously, they got extensively better with just having one Zion come back.
Yes.
And then they re-signed. Did CJ re-sign with them or something?
CJ re-signed on a 2-year
long-
extension,
yeah,
so now
right.
he got 3
And
more
BI
years, 3 or 4 more
got
years.
playoff experience under his belt finally and looked like he handled it effortlessly. Valanciunas is back.
I think Ingram takes
Herb
a jump.
Jones.
I think Ingram takes another jump this
We talked
year.
about that with one of the start bench cuts.
I think he takes
were high on that.
I'm high on him, bro. I think he takes another jump, like actually shows that consistency, and especially with having CJ there the whole season. CJ doesn't need to score; he'll score when he wants. But BI will have that confidence. Like, I got this team around me now. Like, I can play. Like, I don't gotta press. I don't gotta do none of that. I can just ball
I think when it comes to playoff basketball and you're only running 7 or 8 guys, their 7 or 8 can go toe to toe with anyone in the league.
Anybody.
And that's at all 3 tiers, because ain't nobody bodying Zion down there, especially out west. Maybe Jokic, but I don't think he's athletic
even then,
enough.
I was watching earlier about Jonas Valanciunas is going to be a big old key. Don't nobody want to bang in the NBA.
Nobody,
and that's exactly what he does.
And they got 2 of them.
And he can step, but he can also step out and shoot.
He can.
Yes.
He prefers to be down there banging because that's just what they do. But I mean,
man, don't jump over no piece of paper, but he'll get a rebound. He'll get you 10 and 12 every game.
He needs to go
get
to town with Vooch a little bit.
He'll get you 20 and 20, without even realizing.
Yeah. Snap his fingers, just 20 and 20.
Well, honestly, I don't think he'll be getting many 20-point scoring games this year.
No.
But
15 and 20?
Yeah,
10 and 20? 12 and 20?
Yeah.
If I could trade Nikola Vucevic for Jonas Valanciunas, no problem.
In a heartbeat.
I would do that.
Yep.
In a heartbeat.
Yep.
It's just the toughness.
So
That alone.
let's go into some of the other awards here. We talked about all of our NBA champs.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Even though you stole mine.
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah.
So so
I mean,
he
yeah, it was-
stole
it was- it
mine,
was a little
so I
cramped.
stole yours.
I was saying,
It's
yeah,
just the Herbert Allen Mahomes train all over again. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Memphis. I think they brought back most of the core. They lost Melton, but they deep team. They got Brooks will be healthy.
He likes
and
Desmond Bain,
and
T-Rex.
they got Brooks healthy. If he's not taking dumbass shots, he's a very important contributor to that team, both offensively and defensively. And so I think they're primed to make a pretty big run as well.
I'll say about Ja, I think him being able to have his third or fourth off season working with NBA, and now he's truly fully developed at 24. I think 23 he's going to be. I can't remember. Was this his fourth year?
Yeah, this
Bro, I
is
just
now.
feel like
Yes.
he's getting more and more explosive with what we saw in the preseason.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, as somebody who's like that pure true slasher, like you don't think, and he's so explosive, and we see those highlight plays every night. Honestly, they play, and I feel like he just keeps getting more and more explosive, more and more quick twitch, more and more. You know what? I think he's going to be really fucking hard to stop, especially with what we were talking about with that open floor fouls. If he can get his free throw percentage up around 90, he's gonna literally score 30 every night. I think average 30.
Yeah, I mean, he averaged 27 last
And
year.
he has to stay healthy. But I mean,
yeah, I think
that's
it'll be
shot consistent too.
that's what I'm saying. I think in the play, I think they're the same thing with them. They're going to get to the playoffs no problem. But I think the key for that team is going to be Ja's jump shot, how he's able to revolutionize that and being able to shoot that on a consistent.
yeah, 'cause a lot of teams like that's just part of
sag
guarding them
off
is just
and-
sag off and let them shoot.
Yes. So, but yeah, we
But
got some
Derek's
good
better.
picks. We got some good picks for
Go
Dark
Pels.
Horse.
I'm on the Pels bandwagon this year,
100%.
especially if the
I like
Bulls
how
are
we all pick
icky.
West.
Yeah.
I looking at the East, like there's like the
It's
four,
four deep.
There's like
It's
4
four.
teams,
Like
and
it's
then-
like
I actually got a dark
but
horse.
it's 4-4.
For the
I
East,
do-
You know,
yeah,
Cleveland.
God, you know me, man. You know it. You know it. I got Cleveland.
I left
It's
them out of the
just
6.
it's just that length surrounding Darius Garland, but just to take the pressure off somebody who don't have to play so much defense so much is Donovan Mitchell. Go just score. Go have fun playing off of Darius Garland. Why? Because you two are probably going to be the most special backcourt in the East. And just use it. You got Jared Allen. You got Evan Mobley. You got Kevin Love. You got You still got Isaac Okoro. You have Karis LeVert. You still got pieces on there.
They are deep. They are deep.
Deep.
okay. I like that pick. I like that. I wouldn't mind. I don't think they would, but
I'm picking a West team though.
Yeah, West.
Okay, so now
Okay.
we're going to the awards. My bad. I didn't mean that. I promise. MVP started off, Isaac. I already know.
I'm going. I think I'm gonna change man because I know who V going with, but I'm going Luka.
That was mine. That
You
was
going
mine.
Luka
That
too?
was Luka.
That was my first
Oh
pick. as
man, I
well.
was really going Joel.
We're going.
That was my
I'm going
first,
unanimous. I had Luka too.
that was my first
yeah.
pick.
Like I said it when we talked about it. This stuff like what a month ago or so. Luka, not for like his struggles over the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season, put up like 30 something 9 and 8. Like if he's
And that was him
healthy
struggling. That was
if
him
he was-
struggling.
If he's in game shape now for the whole season, I can see him putting up
Right, because
like
then he doesn't get injured because
Yeah.
he's not
I
overweight.
can see him averaging
Yeah.
triple double, and
Oh, 100%.
like he could legit put up like 33, like 10 and 10, and lead his team to like
I would say
fourth,
honestly,
fifth
I think it's
seed,
going to be
and-
tough to dethrone Joker, especially with the rest of that team around him
and
now.
the way the analytics in
Right.
basketball are.
But I think Luka's taking a step, bro.
But the one thing Luka has, I would say, when we was going over this Joel thing, is that Luka can damn near replicate the numbers of Nikola Jokic. Like
Right,
damn
exactly,
near.
and that's where Joel
And-
can't on the assist.
Well, yeah, and
on
then
the
in
assist
the
side.
narrative, I think we talked about this a lot, like at the
Last
gym and
year,
stuff,
going on
about
last year.
how the NBA awards a lot of times go on narrative
Don't do
Yep.
more so than stats and impact and actual like eye test
that.
stuff.
Analytics suck.
So like
ass,
when
dude.
when you say Jokic did carry this trash ass team, putting up these numbers and took
Yes.
them to what third seed or no
Nuggets
sixth seed,
were
Yeah.
5 or
Mhm.
6.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like now you don't have the trash ass team argument. right?
No.
So is the narrative now that he has to be
I
better
think
than
it's gonna
last
be
year?
tough to dethrone him, man.
We'll have to see.
I just think
it's
I just think the return of Jamal Murray and MPJ, like just Jamal Murray's impact alone, I feel like will hurt Nikola's Joker's MVP.
Right. If he's able to put
Why?
up the
Because
same numbers with them two back, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
right, because now you got to choose. So now the narrative I feel like it's going to be: is it
Right.
we're really good because of Jamal's numbers, or it's just because of what Joker's doing again?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look back at like a Luka, no one on that team is going to produce what Luka has to do on that
Right.
team.
if you
they're
put
a 2
together,
or 3 seed, it's because of him.
if you
If they're
put
winning,
All he
games,
has
it's
to
'cause
do
of
is
him.
win games and
Yeah.
do what
Yeah.
Luka does the best,
Yeah.
and that's just be Luka. And I think he gets an MVP. I think
I
the
also
same thing
think
with
Giannis will
Joel.
be up there again.
And I think we can also agree too, because I mean, I had Luka as my first choice, but I believe that this is the best team that he's been surrounded with. I think also too, like we kind of talked about it, that really, the rumors are that, nobody really wants to play with Luka, this and that based off of his attitude and things of that nature. But I think this is as good as it gets for him team wise.
I think it's definitely tough to get another superstar around him if it's not like a true big.
But if they're able to, and if they're able to truly like, keep building pieces and kind of keep substituting good pieces like Christian Wood, I think having actually a solid big man that can pick and roll, can also shoot, will obviously space the floor more. But I just don't see how Luka can't. Like he's gonna, in my opinion, how LeBron was able to carry, not these great teams without another star, type of thing when he was in Cleveland, especially the last couple of years in Cleveland. I think Luke can replicate the same thing. I think he really, really couldn't do that. So, but
I think he might. Honestly, he has potential to start a little run here.
Yes, I would say
2, 3, 4 in a row. Honestly,
but like for me, since we're all picking Luka, another one for me that I'm really, really high on, again, fully healthy and fully focused, Kyrie Irving.
Oh boy, you just threw me all the way off.
Listen, I'll back this
who
up.
Who votes for the awards?
Yeah,
man.
Jalen Rose, right?
They don't like Kyrie.
Jalen Rose, right?
I truly
I'll
believe
say this right
that.
here. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I truly believe that. Fully focused. Let's say he gets 70 games in this year. It's going to be a miracle, but let's say he gets 70 games in this year.
So.
I don't see how
healthy.
I don't see how he doesn't average about 36 and let's say 5. I've
always said that Kyrie Irving is hands down the most talented point guard we've ever seen.
My question for you guys is this. Because I feel like, because my actual pick is Joel. Like my other pick is Joel.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then I feel like, does Kyrie fall in that number, like that number, just that numbers game, just to be in the MVP category instead of being like an actual MVP candidate?
Like, I think as a point guard averaging 30.
Like, yeah, he's
it's gonna be similar to like a Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's averaging 30 and 6, but you look at Luka, it's probably 39 and 8. So
it's just a more effective type numbers, like more effective.
Kyrie's usually super efficient.
Yeah, but it's again, we talk about narratives. KD is going to be unless KD is hurt or playing like trash, he is going to be the guy on the team, regardless of Kyrie's numbers, right?
Yeah.
If they are super successful, people are going to bring it down to KD before they bring it down to Kyrie, unless there's a massive gap in the numbers.
Yes.
Or
I would say so.
And I think if Kyrie plays the majority of the games, I don't think there'll be a big gap in the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't think
That's what I'm saying. Unless Kyrie is way ahead of KD in the numbers game or in games played, I think most of Brooklyn's success will be credited to Kevin Durant.
Correct. I 100% agree with that.
The same way that
I agree.
The same way that if LeBron and AD's career averages and stuff go the same as they usually do, people will probably credit LeBron more than AD, even if AD's health is the more obvious lack of impact last year. Right.
Because it's just going to come down. It's just also going to come down to it being like, okay, let's say AD's averaging like a solid 22, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists type of thing. But LeBron goes on another streak again this year of him averaging 30. Because if you say, if LeBron is out half of those games, even with a healthy AD, then the Lakers wouldn't be anything. You know what I mean? But I think that's if I'm on the same thinking that you are, that's the kind of argument that we're both thinking about.
There's certain players in the league that, like, when you're known as like a top 5 to 10 player, you're typically given the credit for your team's performance before your teammates.
Yep.
Unless there is a massive change in performance or Like there's an injury.
I really believe Kyrie just being available for 70 games is going to give him a chance for that.
I think he's putting on a show this year, bro.
I think I always thought Kyrie's insane.
Mhm.
He just has always had his.
He is insane, and he's insane.
He's always been Kyrie. So.
I'm just happy basketball season's back, bro. All right, what we got next? What we got next?
Let's do D-Boy.
Defensive Player of the Year, my favorite.
Marcus Smart. Never mind. I don't say that was the first guard, and how long was it? I can't even remember.
Since the glove, right?
Yeah, since Gary Payton.
90 something, 96.
Vitor, let me hear who you got, V. You ready?
I don't think I'm
I
ready.
got a dark horse.
I don't think I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Because my defensive player of the year last year isn't going to win it this year.
Let me go with mine then.
You go ahead.
Who you have?
Go ahead. Who you got?
Anthony Davis.
Oh.
Oh!
If he stays fully healthy, he's up there with Giannis. He's up there with Rudy Gobert. Give me Anthony Davis. When he was fully healthy the last 3-4 years, he was up there, top 2, top 3, top 4. He's always up there.
Okay.
I'll
go
I'm gonna
80.
take a page out of B book.
Give me 80.
I'm
taking a page out of
B book.
My book.
Yeah, I'm going Ben Simmons.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good
That's
one.
good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Why? I just think
I like that
his
a lot.
impact on the
actually.
defensive end in Brooklyn
that's
is going
good.
to just show. He's going to be in the passing lane. He has to be blocking shots. He's going to get those mismatches. He's going to be able to take advantage of that.
Bro,
And
they
those
were
defensive
one of the
numbers-
worst defensives. What they gave up like $120, $130 last
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
I think
he's
if he
gonna
just brings
cover
it down
for
to
some
like
of that.
110, 112,
Mhm.
Yes.
that's a great pick actually.
You forget, like, I think V made a point a couple episodes ago. Like, you just forget, like, what
agree.
Ben Simmons was before
Mhm.
Ben Simmons left. And,
Mhm.
like, you see them couple, like, yeah, he had a couple rough games, but, like, I think that one against Milwaukee, it was just a glimpse.
Clamping
Just
Giannis
a
down low.
glimpse.
Yeah.
Just a glimpse. Because it's like he's the only body in the NBA to me that can stick with Giannis. So, like, slow down. Like, at least run with Giannis.
His
at
lateral
least.
ability is
Mhm.
Yeah, at
like,
his
and
size
his
and
length.
strength.
His
yeah,
length can match Giannis with his ability to move. Yeah, I think that's a great
that's a
pick.
really good pick.
Okay.
Y'all got some big shoes to fill. I feel like me and I had some good picks.
I'm not even
No
ready
Rudy
to be
no
honest.
Rudy-
I'm
No
I'ma
Rudy
go-
Gobert's. No Rudy Gobert's.
gonna go with a similar argument to the length and the ability to move
Mhm.
argument, and a player that I think is due to take a step. Bam Adebayo. I think Miami
Mm.
Heat
no.
defensive team.
Oh Lord.
First of all, you have to be a good team defensively to win defensive player of the year.
Lord.
Oh
You guys took
Lord.
the good ones.
We did take him.
I
And I'm
know,
not picking,
but
I'm not
you
picking
went
Draymond.
Bam.
That I was between AD and
Bam's
Draymond.
defensive game is elite. His offensive game is embarrassing at times.
Trash.
But his defensive game is elite. And if he can stay healthy, he's one of the few people, along with Ben and I'd say Giannis, who can truly guard 1 through 5.
Mhm.
Like they can stay in front of a guard and they can defend a big. So I think if he can take a bit of a jump in his all-around game, I think people will really give him the credit that he deserves for Miami's team defense being as good as it is when they've got guys like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson running around like headless chickens.
Okay. Yeah.
Take the cop out.
For me, I believe that a player is gonna have a lot of influence on this guy right here. Y'all mightn't think you know where I'm going with it, but I'm gonna go Joel Embiid
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
Oh.
for Defensive Player of the Year. I believe that having PJ Tucker in the starting lineup with him is going to help him immensely because PJ Tucker is not going to take any shit. He is not going to take any lapses from him on defense. He is not going to make him take a night off. You cannot take a night off against the best players in the world. I think that it's going to be more of like an attitude thing, kind of what we saw with Pat Bev in Minnesota. I believe that we're going to see that type of effect on the defensive end for Joel Embiid from PJ Tucker. So I believe Joel Embiid is going to be in the conversation. I don't think he's going to, I think he'll probably finish like top 3 or 4 in the voting, but at most possibly, but I believe that he's a good candidate. He's a good candidate.
I would thought you were gonna go with Giannis. That would have been a cop out for me.
Giannis was my other option, but I felt like
I think he's going to be there regardless.
He's
gonna
gonna
be
be there every year till
Yeah.
he retires.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of
just stupid.
But like I'm going for like I truly believe that voter fatigue is a thing, and that a
No, give me
lot of
AD.
times they
If
like
he,
to
if he
pick new
stays
players.
healthy, he's gonna be in the
That's
conversation.
a good pick
He's
though.
gonna be
I like
in the
it.
conversation.
Yeah, he
I
will
was
be in the
all-
conversation.
my-
It's just, will the team be good enough defensively for them to warrant?
Yes, because he'll be healthy.
Yeah. Before we
I
do
think
move on though,
people are telling
my
me-
other one is Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges.
That's what he
See,
was.
that's
gonna
what
say.
I was hinting
That's-
at first.
that-
He was my
that-
decoy
He
last
gonna
year.
he gonna have a lot to
Yeah.
a lot of his hands full if Jay Crowder's not there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Oh,
we'll
we
see.
clamping. Hey, Mikael got this. We ain't worried about that.
All right, give me 6 man.
Six.
I kind of want to start.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Royce O'Neal.
Oh.
Royce
Oh!
O'Neal. Whoa.
Oh,
On
okay.
Brooklyn, I feel like
I
he's
like
gonna
how
be
you
one of their
started
better
us off.
players,
Whoa.
at least off the bench.
Okay.
I mean, what are we gonna give it to Tyler Harrow
okay.
again? Jesus Christ!
Okay.
I thought
I had
they
enough-
paid
I
him to
know who I
start?
got.
Yeah.
I also know who I got.
Go ahead. Y'all can go.
I have a backup, so I'll save it if it doesn't get said.
Go ahead, I.
Kevin Love.
Oh, that's a good one.
We putting old heads out there, huh?
It's just because you
What,
got to
y'all
think
got
about
D Rose
it, man.
up? What, y'all got D Rose in the bag?
That's a good one right there. Why
I
you got
think K-Love
Why you
will
got
have-
love? Why you got
I
love?
like that.
Because if you just watch, his whole energy changed once he started finding out that team was heading into the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Like, my man started
He was
rebounding.
getting buckets.
He didn't, hey, that man had a fire, like a
He was
fire
feeling
alarm
like
attached to
LeBron
his
was out
right
there
arm.
again.
He was diving.
Right.
He was diving on the floor for loose balls. He hadn't even
Leading
looked
his
at the
team.
ground. And
He was looking at Garland like he was Kyrie and like Evan Mobley like he was LeBron. He's like, what's
Yeah, he
going
was
on
like, I
here?
got you. And I just think with you bringing in Donovan Mitchell, it's like, now I got that veteran presence. Now he understands what he has to do. And all he has to do is continue what he did last year through the end of the season.
Mhm.
Just go be Kevin Love and make shots. Rebound the basketball, your body big enough, and he still showed you he's still mobile. For some odd reason, he's still mobile at this age. I thought he at least slowed down a little bit. Still his slow on like that mid-range average speed.
He's still a
Like,
dagger from 3 too.
Still a dagger. And it's like when you put his impact he's gonna have in the game coming off the bench, when you got a sub in for a Mobley or a freaking Jared Allen sometimes, his impact will be just phenomenal playing off Garland, playing off Donovan Mitchell.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a long shot, but I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
And
All
he
right,
was
y'all.
second last year.
Was he really? Oh wow.
Check it. Right behind Hero.
I want to hear that shit. Fuck
Okay.
Tyler Hero.
All right.
I got okay. Come on, one of y'all. Y'all be me
Go
and
ahead,
Isaac
V.
going
Go
first
ahead,
and last
V.
two.
Go
I
ahead, bro.
have John Wall.
I hate you. That was my
for the
first
Los
choice as well.
Angeles
No.
Clippers.
He's
gonna
not
start.
starting. Reggie, what I
Reggie
tell you,
Jackson's gonna start.
what did I tell you too, Christian? Reggie Jackson was gonna
You
gonna
did
be
tell me
starting.
that, yeah.
I told you.
I still
I
think
don't like it,
John's-
but-
I honestly
John's
would have
gonna steal
gone.
it.
I would have gone with whichever one of
the
those two was
two.
coming off the bench. I think they would be sharing the minutes pretty evenly.
Reggie
and I think
feels like more of a
six man
spark off
See,
like
yeah.
that
See,
Jamal
that's the reason I didn't go
Crawford
with
kinda.
them. Because I just feel like they're gonna flip. Like you might have like 15 games of Reggie doing his damn thing, and then here come John for another 15 games
Yeah.
for one. And I'm like, shit, is he gonna have enough to even qualify to be sixth man at this point? That's why I didn't win. I was thinking about them early, but I was like, are they gonna qualify? Just because I feel like they'd be flipping flopping if Tyronn Lue was really like, yeah, he can give me this one night and another one can give me this the other night. Like,
But I think Tyronn though is looking at it from the standpoint of if I can keep John Wall as fresh as possible,
playing him like 24 to 28
Let's
rather
keep him-
than 32 to
yes.
36.
keep him as
At
fresh
least
as possible.
ease him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's where he's going is that because I had that exact same mindset because if John Wall is able to stay healthy, consistently play 20 to 24 minutes, I don't see why he's not going to average about 15 points a game just
Yeah.
off rip.
5,
I don't see
6,
why.
and-
he's
And if you go back to his time in Houston when he was kind of like when he was playing,
Mhm.
the man was looking for his shot in Houston. Like,
Yeah.
and he looks better now than he did back then.
Correct.
In my opinion, based on what we've seen in preseason and like in like camp videos, whatever. I just think that he's a guy who can make an impact, especially so again, transition rule. He's still quick,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's going to benefit him.
And still
I
has his
think-
handles, everything.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be because that team has a lot of veterans with a lot of injury history.
Mhm.
There will be a lot of resting and rotation. So I think there's going to be a lot of times where the man is just given the reins on Kawhi's night off or on Paul
King's
George's
games.
night off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kings.
He'll be given the reins.
That's man. Hey, I like this so far. I'm so happy NBA season's here,
The
bro.
NBA's
Did
back.
you?
in-
Were you gonna run with John Wall then?
So that was my first pick, but I did have another one, a close second in mind. So my pick for sixth
My
man of the
second.
year, I believe. So actually, I had two seconds. I believe that they're gonna be even. So my first one is Victor Oladipo,
Oh, that's good.
a good one.
Spicy.
and then my second one, DeAnthony Melton on the 76ers.
Oh,
I believe has a great chance
nobody
to
said
be
mine.
sixth man of the year.
Is it? Wait, is it?
I
Who
had
I
Malcolm
have?
Brogdon and Jordan Poole as backups.
I don't think they'll give it to Jordan Poole
That's the reason I say he's like a
because he could have won it last
I
year.
got Malcolm B.
He could have won it last year.
Who-
Mine was
who-
Karis LeVert.
Oh, I feel like
He's
I
gonna
feel
be
like six
playing
man is a
behind-
is a
he's
lot
gonna be
deeper.
playing
This I feel.
100%. He's
I
not gonna
have.
be starting.
I still have another option as well.
Who's your other option? Let's just keep
Christian
it going.
Wood.
He's not
He's coming off
starting.
the bench.
How is he
Correct.
coming off the bench? Who
It's
the hell-
JaVale
who the
McGee.
hell-
JaVale McGee is starting.
JaVale McGee.
Barbecue
JaVale's starting
chicken.
just so they can
Barbecue
win every
chicken.
jump ball.
Bro,
That's
it's-
the game plan.
Hey, whatever.
See, the reason
Get
I
out of
didn't
here.
say the reason why I didn't say Christian Wood, the real sixth man of that team, is gonna be my rookie of the year pick.
Jaden Hardy.
Jaden Hardy.
Yes, that's
Jaden
what I
Hardy.
feel like. But I just
That's your
don't
rookie of the year pick?
Yes, sir.
Don't lie to me.
Yes, sir.
You're lying.
Jaden Hardy.
Yes,
No, that's a
sir.
No.
great pick.
It's a great pick, but I think when
He's
it
gonna
comes
have to get the minutes.
Yeah, the
It
rookie of the
usually
year,
goes to
the
the
guy who just gets the 36 minutes a game, 20 shots, like crazy
But I
30,
feel like
70% usage rate.
With
Jaden Hardy.
the
If he's
sample,
efficient enough, though,
exactly with the sample size he's going to give you coming off the bench and just be able to do what he does best, and that's his play. He doesn't have to worry about a lot. Coming with
he's
that
he's a lot of a smaller Bones Highland, honestly. That just
Okay.
like playing off of instinct a little bit.
All right, so
Score.
we getting this started then. So Isaac's rookie of the year is again who? Who for the people one more
Jaden
time?
Hardy.
Hardy.
Jaden Hardy, the Dallas
Yeah.
Mavericks. All right. Christian,
We
you want
go.
to you just want to keep it rolling? You go next.
Yeah,
Go
we're
ahead,
keeping
bro.
the same thing. I'll take Paulo Beccaro.
Yeah.
Isaac made that one easy for me. I had there's something else loaded, but once I had something
No, I
loaded,
think
quick,
I know
but
who
once
you
he
got
went Jaden
else.
Hardy.
I think I know
Oh,
who
all
else you're
right,
thinking.
all right.
'Cause I got
Hopefully
them
so.
on my board.
Are you ready, Danny, or should I go?
Go ahead, V.
I'm on board.
So, I mean, obviously, my pick was Paolo. I don't think
Disappoint, but don't disappoint.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's too much. And I'm torn between two guys.
Just give me one.
I'm gonna go with the speak it into existence because I drafted him in the last round of my fantasy drafts. Tari Eason.
Mm.
Oh,
I-
okay.
He's
You know
looking
what?
good the preseason.
He did
He's
look
been
good in
looking
the
good.
preseason.
Yeah, he did look good.
Looking
Again,
Alright,
I
let me
struggle
see
to
who you
find.
got.
I struggle to like those guys that aren't going to get like the true massive volume.
Yeah,
Who you
but
got
that-
there?
Mine, I believe if he is healthy, fully gets the reins on the second unit, Shaden Sharp.
Oh, that's good. That was my third.
So
You
I
know
think
what?
Still
I-
not my second. Still
Yeah,
not
still
my
not my
second.
second.
my second,
Youth.
Is it?
my
Who's your
second,
second?
my second is Jaden Ivey. That's my
Nope.
second. Who's your
You
guys'
ready, Isaac?
second?
I got Ben Matherin.
I got.
Yes,
I got
Ben
Ben
Hey,
I
it's
have
right here
Ben
on my
Matherin.
board. I literally
Yeah.
got Jaden Ivey, Ben Matthew. I was like, Paulo has a favorite. That's exactly what I have.
Ben Matherin. Yep.
I like that.
Hands
We're-
down.
we're-
I've been
I
high
like
on
that.
him since he called out LeBron. I
like
swear,
how,
bro.
I like how we all have different.
I think
ones.
he
We're all on
fits
different
really
ends
nice
here.
next to Hallie, especially
Yeah,
as they.
we're all
They're all-
picking. We're all picking friggin' Paolo and Matherin.
Dude, that was my two, 100%.
That's the
I
other
would
one
have
was
said
torn
Chet. I'm gonna
between-
be honest. I would have 100% said Chet.
I would have still
with him
probably gone
out.
Paolo
I would go
over
Chet.
Chet.
I would go Chet.
Alright.
So picture this next season. Picture this next year. We're gonna be talking about Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, come on.
And
we
Chet.
might skip this segment next year, to be honest. It's gonna be whack.
MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, all Wemby.
Nice.
And then
One
I wanted to
person-
throw another one we didn't talk about in here. I don't. What
Most
was this? What was
improved
the one I
player.
missed?
Most
Most
improved
improved,
player.
right? But I had another one. Coach of the year.
Coach of
as
the
Most
well.
of the year. So let's go with most improved first. Who would be most improved player?
I'm gonna let y'all two go first, or let
Mm.
Isaac. I'm gonna get Isaac go first. I
Isaac
mean, me and
ready.
Isaac been kicking every segment.
Isaac
now,
looks
so-
ready.
Tyrese Maxey.
Mm.
Bro, he's got another level.
Another
I'm telling
stud.
you.
I hope so. I drafted him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Tyrese Maxey.
Think he makes that 20-point per game jump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so because he's gonna look. He showed you in the playoffs. That's when it blossomed for him, like because he's gonna have to pick up the slack when we don't get to see a Harden and we don't get to see an Embiid dominating that night. And I'm not gonna lie, as we speaking in existence, I think he got like 17 right now. He's on his way.
He's got 9.
Oh, well, look at that. Not live. Okay.
It's all right.
It's okay.
He's streaky though, bro.
He is streaky guy, but
you can
he's a
blink and he
flamethrower,
can be at
bro.
17.
But
He's a
just the way
flamethrower.
he looked in the preseason, it was just like, yes, you're ready for to make that jump.
Yeah.
I just
he'll go all night and go 40, but then he'll torch you for 5 minutes and put up 20. I like Tyrese Maxey a lot.
Okay.
Mine is gonna be Bones Highland.
Oh,
I think he takes a jump.
Ooh.
I think he takes a jump, and then actually, I think he's another sleeper for a 6-man too.
100%. I agree.
Yes.
Alrighty. Vitor, I'll go first on this one, bro.
Thank
So
you.
mine, 2023 most improved player, I'm gonna go with Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
That's a good pick.
That's a great pick, actually.
An opportunity.
Because the
pick.
stats are gonna go
Coming off of the playoff run, I believe I believe as well
That's
he
good.
is gonna be one of the top 5 leaders in minutes
Assists?
per game played.
Oh, you think he's taking like a Van Vliet role?
Oh no, I
Yeah.
don't think he's taking a Van Fleet role. Tom Thibodeau's making him take a Van Fleet
You're
role.
not wrong.
I mean, he's in my opinion, I think Jalen Brunson is like a stereotypical Tom Thibodeau kind of player.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
especially coming from Jay Wright and Villanova, that's just what they do.
Yes. So
Those
I
guys are
believe he's gonna be
grinding.
top,
Stevenson,
he's gonna be
Shot
top
right.
Stevenson, yeah.
he's gonna be top 5 in minutes this year. He's gonna probably I wouldn't be surprised if he's around 36 to 38 minutes a game.
And he got his dad there too. Let's not forget.
Big facts. So I believe Jalen Brunson. I believe he should. I'm gonna go him. Close second, I believe it's Tyrese Halliburton as well.
Damn it.
All right, we'll go Tyrese.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Tyrese.
There you go. Go ahead, finish it off.
Because I mean, he has the opportunity to take a
Yeah,
step now.
Tyrese already. I have the numbers here for when his last like.
He might have had it if he would have started on the Pacers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to find where's this stupid outlook thing? They took it away. They showed his stats through the last like 60 something games of the season, which included time in Sacramento as well
De'Aaron
as
was hurt.
Yeah, when De'Aaron was hurt and after the trade.
Mhm.
And he averaged like I want to say like 17.4 with over 9 assists and almost 2 steals a game, or just over 2 steals a game. And I mean, this is a rookie who was traded halfway through the season, didn't have chemistry with his teammates,
Nope.
and he was still putting up double doubles.
And it's again that opportunity thing
Yeah.
we're talking about with the rookies.
Yeah, so like obviously Ben Mathurin's gonna get the ball a lot too, but
I just
I
think that
think-
feeds into.
yeah, I think
Tyrese
it's gonna
more.
help. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna help him
assists,
out,
yeah.
and it's also
Yeah.
gonna free him up because he is a very underrated shooter. And I think
100%.
I think
Ben Mathurin being able to slash
Yeah.
and shoot is going to attract
well, I think
that Tyrese's defender.
yeah. So
So
I think they'll be
Tyrese
able.
trying to get that wonderful
Weirdo
looking jump shot
will-
off.
Yeah.
That wonderful
Hey,
looking jump
if it ain't
off.
broke, don't fix it.
Mhm.
You're a
No,
Suns
he
fan. What talking about Sean Marion? Come on now. Yeah,
He
your Suns
needs to
fan talking
fix
about
it.
form.
He needs
Marion
to
wants
fix
to
it.
know two-way guard
Yeah.
though.
Right.
So,
John Marion was just
Coach of the year.
coach of the year. I'll just start it off right away. I believe I got 2 picks.
Just give me one.
Just one?
Just
Because I
one.
keep taking everybody
We'll
else.
roll through the second one if it
Let's
doesn't.
see
get
what
taken.
happens.
Jason Kidd, coach of the year.
You turd ball. I hate you.
It's a good pick.
Jason
I gotta
Kidd.
back up. You just go here.
Can I go?
Go ahead. Who you got?
Go.
Steve Kerr.
Very
Bro, I
well.
think they go crazy this year.
All right.
Okay, all right.
I'll take Steve Kerr.
V, who you got?
It's been a few years since he won it, so I think
Mhm.
if they
He's
come
due.
up,
He's due.
he's due for another one.
He's due.
Willie Green,
Yep, that's
Ooh.
great,
Orleans Pelicans.
great. But it might be a thing where they give it to somebody else
It's
and he
the-
wins it next year.
It's,
Yes.
They'll give it. They'll
The
give
classic.
it to what's his face from the freaking
Memphis.
Grizzlies?
Yeah, Taylor
Yeah.
Jenkins.
Taylor
from the-
Jenkins, and then Willie Green gets it next
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
they've been giving the award out a year late every year.
All right. All right. Isaac, who you got? Finish it off.
Not Monty.
Mike Malone.
Mike Malone.
That's a
too.
good pick.
I feel like
But no-
I think there's a lot of potential with how deep both of these conferences are.
Well,
There's a lot
Doc
of
Rivers.
potential.
Doc Rivers.
It would take a lot for Doc to get.
Nobody likes Doc.
Yeah,
That's
No.
why.
it would take a lot for Doc to win.
Like Doc.
I mean, Doc a dog, but
He's
he
gonna
can't
do it.
win though.
I got this feeling Philly's gonna put so much emphasis on the regular season where it's just like, damn, just give it to the man. That's exactly what's about to happen.
So before we finish this one and move on to the next portion of
Well,
NBA.
they're down by 10 at the end of the third quarter, so you better hope they put some more emphasis on that.
So quick second option, coach of the year. My quick second option is actually going to be JB Bickerstaff of Cleveland.
They'd have to surprise people.
Yes, they would have to surprise
They'd
people.
have to they'd have to jump.
They'd have to
into
get
the
about
top
probably
four.
like 50. They'd probably have to get about 50 wins, in my opinion.
They'd either have to be in the top 4 or like in a blender of like all the teams are separated by like a game or two again.
A second.
Yeah, that's mine. So
My second would have been Willie Green.
Willie Green. Okay.
Yeah,
I would have picked Jason Kidd probably.
Jason Kidd. Isaac.
I
He
gave you
said
two.
Willie Green, right?
Oh,
He
yeah.
did give two. He did give two.
who would you say
He
again?
gave you two.
He said Mike Malone and
Doc.
Doc Rivers.
Okay.
Nuggets
Perfect.
seem to be some favorites here in our awards ceremony.
Hey,
Hey,
they're
you
healthy.
never know.
They're healthy.
Alrighty. So the next thing that we do got for the NBA before we do finish it out. So we'll talk about this one real quick here. Mainly Poole and Wiggins getting their money. Poole got 4 years, 140 million. Wiggins got 4 years, 105 million dollars. On top of the one that he's already had.
I think that's a steal, bro.
Will the Warriors? I guess the main question coming out of this: does this spell that, because it's reports Draymond is going to pick up his player option for 27.6 million, I believe it is
For next year, right?
for next year. Do we believe that the Warriors will keep going if they're able to keep these three? Does it spell the end for Draymond as a Warrior?
If it keep work, if it keep working, he'll pay that money. If they don't make it, or like it's you tell
Yeah,
it's like,
I think if they don't make
it to the conference,
Keep it quick. Keep it quick though.
Yeah.
if they don't make it to the conference, he gone.
Okay.
He'll be a Hornet if they don't make it to the conference finals.
I
or
think
better.
they do team friendly.
Team friendly. Okay.
But if he's opting in and they'd have to pay him the 27 for next year and then agree to a contract afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I believe it spells the end for him.
I don't think he leaves.
I also wait. How many
Yeah.
do the extensions kick
You
in
really
next
think
year?
he leaves?
I
don't think he leaves because he wants to leave. I think he ends up leaving because
I think
the Warriors don't value him.
100% Draymond Green would retire before he played for someone else.
I
He's
think
got
he
enough.
goes-
The podcast. He's
old
already
enough.
signed. He's already signed. He's
With
already got
TNT.
rings.
Yep.
He's already
Got
a
enough
decent-
rings.
He's already got everything.
Okay.
I think he retires before he signs.
And he
another
got a
contract
mean
somewhere.
right hand.
I think the only other team he plays for though
option
is the
year.
Lakers if LeBron is there.
Nothing. There is not
No.
another jersey he wears.
I think
right.
I think the only way he wears another jersey is in a trade, and it would be them trading him,
forcibly, and then he retires at the end of the year.
trading him
Yeah.
because he opts into this player option.
If they,
and
I
go,
think he might sign a 2-year friendly deal again, and then
Yeah, we'll
I
have
think
to
he might
see.
retire after that.
Okay. Alrighty, I like that. Well, actually, we'll save the last one that we originally had. Do y'all want to go into
Let's do
that?
it for next week.
Yeah, we'll save it instead.
It's back
So
to NBA talk, baby.
oh
yeah,
yeah,
We're gonna be running
hour long.
Oh, yeah.
We run an
hour
hour-long
NBA
NBA
and trying to get
segments.
yeah, we know that if we especially
be
talk
running
about this
hour-long
one, this one's
NBA
probably going to
segments.
be another 20 minutes
We're
for
just
y'all.
NBA specials.
So for next week, at least starting one of the NBA segments, just so that way you guys can be ready for it, anybody listening. So we're going to be talking about
give
the
your own
Nets.
opinions, even
Yeah.
leading in.
We're going to be talking about the Nets and Clippers specifically, and we'll get into some more teams, but who will be seen more as a failure franchise if they do not get a championship this year?
Or
The
at least
Nets-
make the finals. I feel
Or
like.
the Nets or the Clippers. So that one is going to be on our agenda for next week. So be on the lookout for that. So we're going to be jumping into the NFL here. It was a wild week 6.
You're
So we're going to be
Go
getting
Bills.
into it here for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'll run through them here real quick for y'all. So again, we finished it off.
Russ Doodle.
Yeah, Russ is doodle,
Russ Doodle.
unfortunately, bro.
Yo, low-key, I had
Hey,
something to
that
say
first
about
quarter
that.
was weak.
Go ahead.
Before we go through the recap. Like, I'm being just like dead serious. Everybody give some quick. I know we got kind of that NBA ran a little bit, but like some real quick. What do they do? You feel me? Like new coach, new QB, new system.
No run
Nothing's
backs.
working.
Oh no.
Javonte's out, right? Nothing's working. The
I-
defense is working. That's it.
I personally believe
Like,
it
what
is.
has to happen?
I think Nathaniel Hackett was a mistake.
Yes.
I believe.
Okay, but like you can't go 6 games in and
But the
That's
thing is,
the
he's
new
cutting
offense OC.
all of a sudden now. He's cutting out. They're cutting out Melvin Gordon from the game plan in the second half. 3
Jerry
carries for
Jeudy
8
barely
yards.
gets touches.
They're
Jerry-
well, yeah.
Jerry Judy's
mean,
open. The accuracy isn't there, but I believe more so from actually having a game plan. They were the
Yeah.
top rushing team in the league last year.
Right.
You still have decent backs, and you still have Melvin Gordon there.
There's a
who was
reason you
part of that.
re-signed Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, and Javonte
You saw
was getting Javonte and Melvin were splitting the carries.
They were
fairly
splitting
evenly.
carries.
All of a sudden, Javonte's out and Melvin's not getting the carries.
And Latavius Murray comes in, and then also Boone comes in, and then now you're completely wiping him from the game plan. You got to have a consistent
Something
game
is-
plan.
you-
I
if
think
you
it's the
weren't
coaching.
wiping him from the game plan
So you
with
got the
better
coaching?
running
I got
back in,
coaching. Coaching
I
needs to
agree.
change.
You
Yeah.
got coaching
I
too?
agree, and I think
Yeah.
Chargers as well. Brandon Staley is looking like
Yeah,
one of the
Staley is
worst
not looking good.
coaches in the
Okay,
league.
Isaac, what do you think about the Broncos? Coaching or what?
I think it's both. I think I said it last week. Russ is still not focused.
That's what
Okay,
I
he
heard.
is not 100% not focused. I don't care if it's his lat. I don't care if it's his rotator cuff.
I don't care if
He
it's
ain't
Sierra.
focused. Okay,
I don't know who it is.
right? He's not focused. Like he's playing like shit because he's not focused at all. Like that's how I feel about it. It could be running. It could be not. There's no way in hell you missing people over the middle. There's no way in hell you supposed to be one of these top quarterbacks and you missing wide open guys to the right of you, to the left of you. You're not even checking guys to the right of you or left of you. You're just throwing
Yeah,
it. I
he's-
feel
yeah.
like.
Right. I agree with that too. He's
I
missing
feel
guys
like
that are wide open.
all of his, and I feel like all of his passes are lacking that. Like I want to say that zip, just like Brady passes. I'm getting to that later. Like he lacking like that zip. I don't know what Russ did this offseason. Russ right now is like what's Westbrook of the NFL.
Mhm.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, my problem with them is definitely the coaching. There's something that they're just not
Yeah.
scheming right on offense.
Well,
At
yeah.
least on the offensive side of the ball. I
Yeah.
think their defense is perfectly
When you
fine.
talk about coaching and you look at the New York Giants and Brian Daboll's got them playing good football. Daniel
Oh,
Jones is looking.
You know why Brian
solid.
Dable got them playing good football, right?
Saquon Barkley.
No, because Brian Dable came from
Yeah.
Alabama. Thank you very
Oh my
much.
God.
Roll Tide. Say
Yeah,
it for me
yeah,
one
it's
time.
good.
Say it for me one time.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Even
This
though
is
they-
not a week for Roll Tide. What is
I know.
this? You
Yeah.
all lost this weekend. Okay,
The Tide-
keep this.
the Tide- the Tide got rolled.
Just wait. Don't mean we can't win out.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
Um,
later in the episode for sure.
Yeah,
talk
like,
about that
good
later.
coaching. Good coaching makes an average or to below average quarterback look solid. So
It just goes to
what's Hackett's
show
excuse
it goes
Right.
to show Dable is making adjustments.
Yeah.
Hackett looks like he can't
Putting
make any
his
type of
players-
adjustments.
It's the
So-
offensive side
Yeah.
of the ball. I don't know who they need to.
well, and the
Chop
game
it.
management side of the ball. The clock management's been
too.
terrible.
Yeah.
Just like
Okay, but here's the thing, bro. If you're Russ and you have that experience, just call the fucking timeout, dude.
but you don't know if you're allowed, like what you're.
Nah,
Good.
bro. You are one of the top quarterbacks of the last decade. Call the fucking timeout. Like somebody's got to step
I'm
up.
just
also-
saying.
we've
If
talked
Kyler-
about
If
his-
I'm Cortland Sutton, if I'm Jerry Jeudy, if I'm any of these big fucking players, somebody call the fucking timeout.
Yeah.
Somebody
Like,
call a
what-
timeout. Give me the special
exactly.
teams coach, the assistant running
Honestly,
backs coach. Somebody
honestly-
call the fucking timeout.
Honestly, I want to see an argument between someone and Russ on the sideline. Like,
Dude,
get
yeah,
some
fuck
fire.
Kenny Hammer slamming his shit.
That's
He's
why I say
slamming
he
that
not
shit into Russell
focused.
Wilson.
He's playing like doodle instead of like being positive. No,
Yeah.
there's no
There needs to be.
positivity.
There's no character yet, except the defense is fine, bro. It's
Yeah.
like two separate sidelines. That
Hey,
defense is fine.
speaking
I mean,
of-
that's
speaking
what happens
of-
when you got Pat Surtain.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of the Tide, Pat's looking crazy.
I'll be honest. We'll get into that. Sauce
Yeah.
Gardner though.
No,
But yeah, it's like that. The defense has leaders, the offense doesn't, and I
Mhm.
think there's just something missing. So
All right. So getting into the recap then. So
season's
since we-
over for them though.
Yes, since we did talk about the Broncos and Chargers. Chargers beat the Broncos 19-16. Eagles defeated the Cowboys in a huge game 26-17. I believe
saw
they
that
made a
coming, though.
statement.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. I thought the Cowboys looked good though.
The Cowboys look
the
better
second
than I
half.
The
expected.
Cowboys looked a lot
Yeah.
better than I expected coming
But the
out.
Eagles again, they've done this a lot where they come out roaring in the first half and
Second half has
died
always been
down
the
in
problem.
But at least they had a good fourth. They finished
Yes,
strong.
they
The
did.
third was terrible. The fourth, they at least finished strong.
Yes.
Especially that defense.
Yeah. And then the
Uh,
next one,
Gardner Johnson had 2 picks again.
the one of the I would say a pretty good game. Bills and Chiefs. Bills defeated the Chiefs
Shout out to Tony
24-20.
Romo.
Steph
Hey.
and Joshy. Yo,
Um,
Tony, bro, I lost my mind when he goes, third down right here. Gabe Davis is 1-on-1 on the bottom. Let's see if he takes a shot as Josh Allen's dropping back and fucking throwing a dime to Gabe Davis. I was like, Tony Romo's a
Tony
goat.
Romo's one of the best
He's so
commentators
good.
ever in the game.
He's like, the way the game's going, it's gonna be like 24-20 game.
That bitch was 24-20.
Oh, well, you do this too much for me.
My favorite thing is when he'll legitimately he'll look at the set and be like,
Call out the
he'll
whole
be like,
last play.
This should be a hitch here at the tight end, but if he's not open, he should look at his wide receiver on a crossing route, and you see the quarterback look at his tight end on a hitch,
and then he
hand
does
over
it.
to the crossing route.
Let's see if Kelsey's covered over the middle. He'll look for Juju on a comeback. Juju spin comeback tutty. I swear to God, Tony Romo's cracked.
Next one here, that we did talk about in the beginning as probably going to be one of the more disappointing teams. Seahawks defeated the Cardinals 19-9.
We've been talking about that. We done been.
Bro, the
on that.
Seahawks.
Yeah,
The Seahawks are allowed.
We're almost through what, week 8 or 9? We said where they'd be 2-6,
Yep.
2-7.
It's
We
possible.
were
It's still sitting nice.
the Seahawks were allowing, I think, 31 points a game before that game,
Yep,
and they scored 9.
on the Seahawks.
that what it was?
That's yes, 19-9.
Oh,
That's sad.
I don't think D-Hop is going to do much, in my opinion.
I mean,
No.
the Red Zone's offense has been terrible, and he'll definitely help them out there. But
Right, dude.
They
the
still
loss
gotta
of
get into
Hollywood, and I mean, they're getting fucking Robbie Anderson, but just
Yeah. So the next
that's a
game for
player I
that
don't want
one
anywhere near my team.
leads into it. So the Rams defeated the Panthers 24-10. And then getting into the last handful here, Patriots over
that's
the
annoying.
Browns in a surprise one there.
Ooh.
I was going to say there's Jets over Packers, Giants over Ravens, Steelers over Bucks, Falcons over Niners, Patriots over Browns, like you said. There's like 5 or 6 upsets.
Yep.
I mean, the Colts came out firing today or the other day with no Taylor and no Naheem Hines.
Bengals, in my opinion, had a great comeback game.
They did
because they were down early, and Joe Burrow showed why he is
Joe
Burrow.
Joe Shiesty.
He's what? What is he?
He's one of the
Joe
top
Shiesty.
QBs in the game. I'm not giving no top 5, top 10 because obviously that backfired with
I think I
but,
had
hey,
him at 5, so
yeah.
I'm not at. I think I had him at 5 or 6.
So,
Keep
but
him at
You can hate
5.
all you want, but when it
I
comes
might
time to
drop
make
him.
lists,
I'll probably drop him at 6, 7.
But that is the recap there of NFL Week 6. So we wanted to dive more into some specifics here for the NFL instead of kind of going through every single game. So one of our main things was that Bills held out versus the Chiefs. So what did we think of that game? Do we believe that in the playoffs it's going to be the same thing? I believe they're gonna get matched up in the conference title game. But I'm still gonna
because
have
they'll probably
the
be
Chiefs.
1-2 this
I'm
year
gonna
rather than the
paint
Bills
this-
slipping.
I'm going to paint this as a normal, good old Tom Brady type of story.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning is what it is.
This is going to be you beat
Justin Herbert's Ben
you
Roethlisberger.
take out you beat Tom Brady.
that means he gets
you
2.
Pat Mahomes in the regular season,
Right.
and then when it gets to playoff time, they do exactly what they always do: beat you in the most worst way possible. Either come back in the
Got
end
my
in the fourth
swagger
quarter,
back.
or shit, force overtime in 13 seconds, and then still beat you in overtime. So I just think I think Buffalo was supposed to dominate this game to make a statement. Not
I don't
win
think
by
they were
4.
supposed to.
I think
I think a lot of
expecting
people
Buffalo
wanted them
dominate-
to, as in
Yeah.
me.
Well,
but-
because I just think when you went to go get those pieces, I just think the defensive side of the ball, I think they did a lot better than like in years past, but you still let Juju, guys like that snap. And
Yeah, I mean,
Kelsey
They missed a
didn't get
couple
him-
tackles. That was really one missed tackle. For me,
Yeah.
the thing that they really did was go and get Greg Rousseau and go and get Von Miller.
Von Miller was
And them
incredible.
two, the reason that they lost that game last year is because they couldn't get Patty on the ground. And when the game was on the line, they got pressure on Pat. They forced bad throws on Pat. They got Pat on the ground. And I think that when you looked at how did they beat us? Well, Pat beat us. And I think that this was a game where they had their defense out there in the stand to make a stand, and their defense made that stand, which is what they didn't do in the playoffs last year.
And we
I
always
think it
see
was
that
a
with
big game.
And we always see that too with a lot of good teams.
The Bills left a lot of points on the door. Honestly, that could have easily been 38-20.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
we-
I mean?
and
They
we
left
always-
a lot of points out there.
And we always see that too, is that if you have a good defensive line against a great QB that is obviously in Pat Mahomes is mobile, he can throw wherever, but if you give him time, he's gonna gas you. But if you get that pressure, it's a game changer.
Their
Von
defense
Miller
was cracked last year, Their secondary was insane. Their secondary is still insane. It's a little banged up. Obviously,
Mhm.
Micah Hyde, the season is tough, but
Yeah.
now that they didn't have guys to come back in, Tremaine Edmonds at linebacker has always been insane.
Mhm.
And it was really their front that they were missing, especially the pass rushing. And they had a few games, notably one against the Patriots last year, where they got beat on the ground game.
Yeah.
CEH had 30 yards. Nobody else really ran the ball well. They made Pat throw the ball, and they
Mhm.
were able to get him on the ground. I don't see them beating them in the playoffs. I think the Chiefs now need to do something before.
Well, looks
Okay.
like they're trying.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean,
They
that game,
restructured
yeah.
Kelsey's contract.
So they might be
opened up
looking to
3.5
grab something,
mil.
maybe OBJ or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, something like that.
Honestly, I
ESPN
believe
CMC's up there. Cam Akers is up there.
that'd be a killer spot though for Odell.
No,
I think Odell should go to Green Bay, but
I
we can
believe
talk
so
about
that'd
too.
also
that.
be
Yeah.
great.
Alrighty, so we went through that there. So
wait,
oh,
one more point on that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Mahomes has thrown an interception on every game-winning drive attempt since that playoff game or against Buffalo. He's had 3 game-winning drive attempts.
I think
since
it's
then.
Tyreek, bro.
Well, Tyreek's not. Are you saying the lack of Tyreek?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Not having Tyreek is huge.
Yeah.
You look at
Because that
They didn't
was
even
like
look
your
at Kelce
mistake
on the
cover.
last drive.
right, but you look at when they went down and caught that field goal.
Yeah.
It was Tyreek underneath
And then,
making a play.
Yeah.
You got no one else on that team that can make a play.
yeah.
And Sky
you got
Moore is
Miko, but he's-
really not being used like that. I expected
mean-
a bigger role from him, to be honest.
He's
when
not Tyreek, bro. Come
No,
on.
no, I know, but
Mikol's closer, but again, I think in the big moments, I don't think Pat's
But
trust
Miko
is
can't
all
do
the
We
way
just saw
there.
Tyreek put up 40 with
Yeah.
half a game of Skylar Thompson. Like,
yeah,
I mean, Tyreek, he's nice, bro. I think a
Mhm.
lot of people are
Yeah,
realizing
I
that,
think
which I think was part of his reasoning for wanting to leave.
yeah,
Mhm.
people weren't giving him the respect that he deserved for
yeah.
And I think they miss him a lot. That's
Mhm.
why I think they might have restructured Kelsey to go out and get a weapon.
Maybe we'll see what happens though with them. And then the next one that I kind of want to get into. So I've kind of been seeing this a lot getting circulated around. So, who do y'all believe is like the best? There was like the best 5-1 teams. So it was the Vikings, it was the Giants,
Mm,
and then there was one more
Bills.
team. No, it wasn't like an obvious one. I believe Philly might have been in there.
They're undefeated.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
Philly's undefeated.
So, but there's another team in 5-1 right now, isn't there? Or
Let me find out.
So we got the Vikings, we have the Giants.
Buffalo, Giants, Vikings, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to bring it down to those two. So who do we believe, shout out Josh Pater as well for the Vikings. Who do we believe is the better team at 5-1 so far? The Giants or the Vikings?
It's actually kind of tough.
I think the Vikings are the better team, but I've been more
They
impressed.
just don't play, man.
I've been more impressed by the Giants. I mean, that could be due to lower expectations.
Mhm.
Probably. I
But-
think it is.
But yeah, I think the Vikings are a better team.
That consistency
specifically
from
on
the
offense.
Vikings is just
Yeah.
what kills me, man. Because they are on paper like they're
Yeah.
pretty
Insane.
nice with it, bro. They're pretty nice with it.
And they
But
are
I'm
the
telling
ma-
you, they come sometimes Kirk be making them dumbass decisions.
Yeah. And other times he's
Jettas has
zipping
been
it.
really quiet.
The thing is that I'm confused about Kirk Cousins is that
Looks nice with it though. I like that. one.
like all you have to do, like you don't even have to force the issue. Like sometimes you look like a top 15 quarterback, and the other time you don't even look like you belong in the league. Like you look like you're a
Sounds
third
familiar.
The
string.
Eagles game,
Yes, like you look like you're a third stringer
second half
coming in
against
for
the
the first.
Saints,
Like I just
second
don't
half against the
understand.
Bears.
You don't gotta force it. Like you literally have all the weapons around you. You have a solid tight end that you can dunk and dive to. Like
The defense too, though. There's a lot of that's just consistency problems for me.
and that's the whole team. Like it's
I'll still
weird.
take the Vikings
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
Giants
Talk about it.
personally.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that. I gotta rock with the Vikings over there.
Yeah,
Talent. I can't go against Jettas.
I am happy though.
I think they could turn it around because it's just like I feel like they're playing like one half of football great, then like the other
Mhm.
half terrible.
See, I love how
sometimes
you
it's a-
said though. I love how you said though. Like they gonna turn it around, but like they're 5-1. Like what?
They'll
the
be
hell?
7.
Like,
They'll win their next
you
two
know what?
games is Cardinals and Miami.
Yeah.
I think they just play Miami. It's Cardinals and Washington. Is it after the
And
Cardinals?
I don't
Yeah.
think they beat Miami if it's two at quarterback or like Teddy to start the game.
That's
That's how I feel.
Oh, they have a
about it.
bye this week.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then they go Cardinals. Yep, and then they go. Yeah, Washington and
Commanders.
Cardinals. Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll
they
be
need to
7 and
fix
1.
that
They'll be
logo.
7 and 1. But then
Yeah.
they go Bills and Cowboys, and that's going to be
So
a couple
those will
good
be the
tests.
tests. Okay.
Yeah, if the Cowboys are healthy,
They'll be
but-
7 and 1. They'll be 7 and 1. They could be 8 and 2, honestly. And like that's what's crazy, but yet I still see them getting bounced in the first round if they don't put together
Yeah.
a full game.
Well, that's the reality of you can can win regular season games, but when it comes down to it, and you're in the playoffs, a half of football isn't gonna cut it.
I'll say this though, and shout out Pate again. He does make a good point. They keep winning these close one score games, so that is good experience come playoffs.
But a lot of these one score games, they're up by multiple scores, and they're allowing it to
they're
be
blowing
And
it,
that's
yeah.
allowing somebody to come in. I feel like if that's the case, when it gets to the playoffs, you do that, go
And you're
up.
going against the
Somebody's just gonna
Cowboys. You're
complete
going against the Eagles. You're going up against maybe Tampa, Tom, and them. You're going up against, if you make this the Super Bowl, you know what I mean, against either Chiefs, Bills, any of these teams.
Yeah.
and you letting them teams back into the game. You just asking for a recipe to get burned every time.
Yeah.
And then V, you believe that it's on. Do you believe more so for like the inconsistencies, what we've seen from the Vikings so far? Obviously, we know the Giants have the coaching staff is turning that around, their culture and all that. But do you believe, before we finish this part out, that the coaching is what's going to hold back the Vikings this year?
I think the Vikings have. I don't think their
It's a
coaching.
first-year head coach.
Yeah, I don't think their coaching is the problem, but I think it's a factor.
Okay.
I think when you combine a first-year head coach who is offensive minded with a average to above average quarterback, you're gonna have some mixed responses. It's just the consistent inconsistencies on both sides of the ball seem to be some sort of game plan issue. Again, we talked about a little bit of game management with the Broncos.
Maybe they don't make.
Yeah. Or they either don't make adjustments or they just don't understand game script fully and don't understand how to see out a win, or they try too hard to see out the win instead of continue trying to run it up and then go from a 2-score game to a 4-score game, and then if you're allowing a comeback, it's too little too late.
Yeah. Which I think is what the Chiefs and the Bills have kind of separated, even against the Eagles, in my opinion. Well, the Eagles just did it against the Cowboys. It was a 1-score game, and they ended up putting a drive together, getting 2 stops, and extending that lead to 2 scores.
I believe the Eagles are for real. I believe that they are. I think people are still sleeping on them.
Good segue.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
17-0.
No.
16 and
Who
1.
do you think they losing to though?
16 and 1.
I'm going.
It's not a hard schedule.
No, it's piss easy. It's disgusting.
It just happens.
I'll go 16.
So that's what I'm saying. So you got
16 and 1. It's going to be either the second game against the Cowboys. I think they could lose at MetLife to the Giants. And then they do play Green Bay.
See,
Tennessee.
I don't think
the thing that I have, a lot of their hard games are at home.
Yeah, but it's again, if they're doing that well, who's to say they don't rest starters week 17? I know the bye weeks are.
If you're 16 and 0, you ain't resting nobody.
Just a good point, but I mean, is it worth losing Jalen Hurts?
That shit don't happen.
And
ain't nobody losing Jalen Hurts.
No.
Gets tackled in the knee and he's out for the playoffs because you wanted to win. You wanted to go 17-0.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
Knock on wood for that one though.
You've got to be realistic.
I believe they'll go. I believe they're gonna have a slip up. I think they're gonna have one slip up game for sure. But I believe that they'll either go 14-3 or 15-2 this year.
I'll go 16 and 1.
Okay.
I'll go a slip. I'll go a slip up at MetLife. Give me the Giants. We were just talking about them.
I've seen a lot of slip.
I'll go a slip up at MetLife.
I'm gonna go 15-2 with a slip up with the Giants, and it's like a 15-1 and 16-1 ordeal with that game because I really don't want to put that one because of Danny Dimes, but it's Saquon's ability to impact the game. And that defense is keeping the game together.
I think
they stand close. Giants make a run every time.
I didn't expect anything from Zeke, and he put up 80 yards and a tutty on a pretty stout Eagles defense.
Yeah, but then also too, I just look at that second game against Dallas because guess who's back at QB?
Dak,
Pete. But that's if Mike McCarthy want to call the same game he called for Cooper Rush.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So you just have to see exactly how they'll game plan with Dak back, because this is obviously a recipe that is working for them. But again, they're probably going to change it up.
Especially,
try and
it would have
open
been
it up.
tougher if they would have either A, won the game, or B, lost with a good Cooper Rush game. But he did
Yeah.
play pretty piss poor that last game.
Yeah,
And I think that's a testament to how good the Eagles secondary is,
Yeah.
nasty.
which is why I think they might lose only one game, and
I
it's going to
wouldn't-
be against the current best running back in the league. So,
I wouldn't be surprised. And then
we're going to talk about what, the Packers and the Bucs? you wanna
yeah,
talk about?
so that's the last part
Which
of our
actually is
NFL
kinda
segment.
nice.
Who is more in trouble?
Tampa
I'm sorry, who's more in trouble? The Green Bay Packers
Both.
or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I'm gonna go with the Bucs.
Is it possible to say both before we start?
No,
You'll have,
pick one.
Yeah, no, you
We're
got to
saying
pick
more
one.
in trouble.
Yeah,
They're both
more
in trouble, but who's more in trouble?
I have
Go
an
ahead.
answer.
Go ahead, V. Start it off. I know you.
But yeah, I'm going with the Bucs because I think both sides of the ball they look pretty bad. Like it seems like they can't put a whole game together. Both sides of the ball, their secondary's bad. Their run defense is good.
It's not it's not what everybody expected it to be though. Like the top stout. But yeah, I get you.
Interesting.
I mean,
I think the Packers are in more trouble. I think they're in an easier division.
They are in an easier division.
I think I don't think I think they have less weapons to save them, whereas they have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You still got Lenny. You know what I'm saying? You still got. I mean, Cameron Brate just went out. Is he out for the season or no?
He just got a second concussion in like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, so he might
But
be.
I just think they have weapons still. Julio still hasn't come back.
They've got Kate.
Whereas when you look at there's more, and I still think their defense has so much potential, especially their run defense. The Packers, when you drop, I mean, they're looking not what I expected.
No.
Neither teams.
They're looking like they're writing love letters to get Devontae back because that offense can't move the ball.
Yeah.
And they're not using Aaron Jones, who's their best weapon.
I called it.
The Packers?
Yes, I called it in Green Bay. When you just putting so much like that everybody was like, oh, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, great. But when you still have to find somebody to throw the football to, Romeo Doubs, inconsistent. Alan Lazard, he tries his best, but inconsistent.
Alan Lazard.
Here's the difference with me and Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard is not a top receiver in the league. He can't handle double teams, and that's why when he's getting doubled, he doesn't put up those consistent games. Devontae could get doubled, could get tripled, and put up 100 yards.
Lazard's a good accessory.
He's a good two.
Yeah,
he's a good two.
He's good in the red zone.
That's why he was good with Devontae.
But then but you have to get down there. And then also, too, I'm going to put a little bit of blame on freaking Matt LaFleur a little bit. Yes. I think you need to commit to either Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon.
Yeah. And I think A.J.
Why?
Dillon
because
so
I feel like
this year.
When we get in that inside the 10 range, yes, and you don't want to hurt Aaron Jones, cool. Then I throw A.J. Dillon out there. But Aaron Jones breaking out for like a 30-yard play and going to sit on the sideline, I just think that's that breaks your rhythm.
A.J. Dillon had a solid first game, put up about 80 in a score. I don't think he's touched 50 since, or he's been around 50 the next 5 games, and yet he's seeing the majority of the snap share.
So on top of that,
what was it week 1?
So week 1, he had 10 for 45
and a score.
Yeah, week 2, 18 for 61, 12 for 32.
But he hasn't touched the end zone since week 1.
Yeah, 17 for 73. Against New
England. A lot of that's volume. 18 carries, 17 carries.
Yeah.
Whereas Aaron Jones always been the more efficient back.
And we talking about Aaron Jones probably touching just around the same amount of yards with less carries. On those big games. We hit 18, 17. Yes. Aaron Jones at 12 or 13.
Give Aaron Jones
12, 13, 89 yards.
Putting up over 100.
In the 2 games where Aaron Jones has gotten 15 or more carries, so he's gotten 15 and 16. He has combined for 242 yards and 1 touchdown. Rushing.
That's 8 yards a carry.
Yes,
and he's 8 fucking yards a carry.
We're also talking a guy who can actually. He's gotten 1 game below 3 receptions. All season.
I feel like even if, and I get people need a break, but even if AJ Dillon's in there, fucking throw AJ out in the receiver.
AJ Dillon has had 2 games over 4 receptions and 3 games with 1 or less receptions.
Even
reception game in
the last
what's his face more involved.
And if you're looking at just beyond receptions, he's only had one game where those receptions actually got anywhere.
And that's
Yeah.
that's LaFleur. Then you're saying,
Yeah.
is not scheming the offense correctly.
Well, I think it's almost like it feels like he's kind of using the players in the other players' role.
Yes.
Like, I think you want to use Dylan as that complement. Like, all right, Jones has helped you get down the field. You need a 3rd and 1, punch it and give it to Dylan. You're on the goal line. You want to really go heavy set. You give it to your bigger back, AJ Dillon, and then or you put them both out there and have
off defense guessing.
yeah,
And
do
be
a
able to
little
run that play
fake-
action.
fake
Right,
handoff,
exactly.
flip it to Jones. Type of get the defense.
I think I think the
simple-
offensive line too.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that they said last
Because
year.
Bakhtiari's not even
Yeah,
playing
there's
still.
No, he is playing.
Oh, he did play last week?
Their offensive line is healthy.
Oh, okay.
That's my
okay.
point.
Yeah.
and they're
But
not.
There's
even
no
then, you
excuse
just
in that
let
anymore.
Quinnen Williams dominate the whole Sunday. For them.
Hey, where
Like,
did Quinnen Williams go to college again?
Clemson.
Sorry. Roll Tide, Danny. That's what it is.
Quinnen Williams? He went to Clemson.
Wow, that's crazy. I thought you were a fan, dog.
Quinn? I thought who's the
That's
big
crazy.
No, that's the guy from Miami I'm thinking about.
That's crazy, dude.
It's the guy from Miami.
Christian, right? Christian something.
Yeah. That's the guy I'm thinking about. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
Cool. The University of Alabama.
I told you last week, you're not a real fan, Dan.
Hey, Chris, I already said I'm not a real fan. I've only watched him and I say Roll Tide because my man's right here. Christian, that's all. Somebody else has to be a
Sorry,
fan.
go ahead. Quinnen Williams had a fucking game.
Yes.
Dude, he's been on tear since he blew up in that coach's face. He said, "Fuck y'all, dude. We ain't losing again."
And the thing is that team is being sneaky. Like I believe the Giants are making more of
they
a
are.
statement, but the Jets are being,
They're
especially on the
sneaky.
defensive end.
Brees Hall.
They're winning, and Zach Wilson is playing like shit.
Yeah. That man has
If that defense
ruined
could
their-
play,
Is
like
he
the way it was
though?
Joe-
He
Terribly.
is.
Terrible.
Is he
he
6 for
though?
17 for 110 or
Yeah,
8 for
bro.
7? Come on,
He's not
he
been
is
the
way
quarterback
better
that
than
they
that.
expected.
He is better than that.
Flacco was miles better than he is.
Yes.
But again, you roll
Brees
with
Hall
the
is that
potential.
offense. I don't want to hear anything. Just get the ball to Brees.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Hey,
I slept on him. I'm gonna be honest. I
Sauce-
slept on him.
I
Sauce
missed the Garrett
Gardner.
Wilson offense.
Sauce Gardner.
I like a little sauce with my defense.
Can we get Joe Flacco throwing to Garrett Wilson for a 30 bomb again? I
I
swear.
missed those days.
But Sauce Gardner is proving to be that guy.
I feel like there was no question though.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
But-
people doubted him because he didn't go to a big school.
correct.
And that
Yeah, but then he played Alabama and still locked down James
Yeah.
Williams.
people don't never care unless you're playing for the bigger schools.
I didn't care
people need
until
to
I
prove-
watched him
Yeah.
lock down Mechie and
It's
Jameson
different.
Williams.
His ability to play the cornerback position is insane. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's the best corner in terms of like one-on-one in
I would
coverage
say coverage.
I've seen since
Him and Pat Surtain are up
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
And
But
pure
s-
coverage and
yeah.
and Slay. Well, I think Slay's up there as more of like a ball player.
Yeah, Slay's coverage is great, but
Mhm.
he's
His
also
ability to make the play on the
Yeah.
ball and get those interceptions.
but in terms
tips
of and the coverage thing, moving,
which
turning the
hey,
hips.
low-key,
and-
Sauce be tipping shit out. Motherfuckers had the ball in both hands and
Yeah.
he's
Mm.
ripping.
Yeah, but like with Sauce, it's the hips, right? It's the staying with the
It's the 6'3".
yeah.
Yeah, it's the cut, and
7-foot
he's still sitting
wingspan.
there cutting with you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he's got like
Bro, do the Vikings play the Jets at all?
I don't believe they do.
Dude, I would pray. I'd kill to see fucking
I think
Sauce
I
versus
put
Jettas.
the under for everything on Jettas for that game.
December
Do they?
4th?
December 4th. Yo,
Where?
he goes Jettas, and then the week after that he goes Stefan, and the week after that he'll go St. Brown. All in December.
He's gonna
Oh,
clamp 2 or 3.
he ain't clamping Steph.
No, that's
I'll
what I was
tell
about
you
to
that
say.
right now.
Stephon.
He
He's clamping
clamps.
2 or 3.
He clamps Jettas and Amon Ra, but I don't think he.
I think Amon
Stefan.
Ra's gonna be tough too.
No, I
No,
believe he's
no.
gonna be tough.
I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think Jared Goff's gonna get bashed by that.
That's
offensive
true.
line.
That's true.
Like
actually.
Quentin Williams, you just see how he just ate up today. on
I
this
think
past Sunday.
if they leave Sauce on an island with Jettas, hey, he might have a beat him and have a chance on it. But just
That's gonna be a good ass.
watching
matchup, though.
Sauce get beat, but his ability to then recover and then punch balls out and just not a he's I don't even.
Man, we're getting into the juicy stuff of the
insane.
season with this one though. But that's gonna be it for our NFL segment there. So now we're gonna be heading into the latter part of the show. Next thing we're gonna be talking about though is MLB. So obviously we got the playoffs. Main things that we're going to be talking about though, besides the playoffs, Carlos Correa opts out of his contract with the Minnesota Twins, and then we got like a, you know, it's not a spicy take here on the show today, but I believe a spicy take that are the Dodgers, and we'll start off with this one. Are the Dodgers?
Oh, save that. Wait for Vitor to come back.
Oh, okay. Vitor's not here.
He's gonna love that. He got to take a
I
win.
was gonna say.
What, Isaac?
We could talk about how my two teams got eliminated.
That's
facts.
Right. So let's talk
Mariners
about
and Braves.
Let's talk about the playoffs so far. So
that's painful.
So everything is set right now for the ALCS and the NLCS. We have the Yankees.
I told you they weren't beating the Astros.
We have the Yankees playing their nemesis.
I'm trying to have high hopes.
The Houston Astros, and then we have the surprise Philadelphia Phillies.
Both are a surprise, I think.
Well, yeah. And then the surprise San Diego Padres facing off to go to the World Series.
None of us picked the Phillies.
Nope.
None of us picked the Phillies to beat the Cardinals.
Nope.
None of us picked the Padres to beat the Dodgers, I don't think. I
said it was a chance though.
Okay.
I said
I was with Danny with that chance,
Yeah.
I think okay, so maybe it was just me.
Well, we were still all on the Dodgers train though, that they weren't gonna be stopped, but
I don't think anyone had the Braves losing.
Nope.
And also another fun fact, even though the Yankees won, Aaron Judge still batted like shit.
I mean, he hit a home run today.
He did hit a home run today.
He hit a homer today. So did
Nasty Nestor pitched a good 5.
Yes.
Up until today, what has Aaron Judge did?
I think he had one hit. I think he had one hit.
One hit out of going
so he's got,
on a
even
tear.
though and then he hit a home. I think it was two hits today.
Yeah, he had 2 hits.
2 hits in the series, so 3 in the series. But
he just finished. Yeah, he just.
The only thing I'm going to say about this whole playoff series is I was the only one that predicted the Astros sweeping the Mariners, and they swept the Mariners. They're the best team in baseball.
You know,
they're built for the playoffs. They're built for the playoffs. It's disgusting. They cheat. It's okay. And here it is in the game that they need to win the series, to lock up the series. Who is it that hits the home run? It's Carlos Correa's replacement. Or should I say heir?
Heir to the throne.
Now going to be the future shortstop for that team for the next 5-10 years. So now go ahead with the Dodgers talk.
Well, before we get into the Dodgers talk and all that, so who do we believe is going to represent each conference here in the World Series? I believe we're all on the Astros train for that one, defeating the Yankees.
Astros
Padres. Okay.
As long as the Padres don't win, I'm cool with anything.
I'm also going Padres as well. I believe they're the better overall team, and the pitching staff there, I can trust them more than the Phillies right now. Am I mistaken? At least top to bottom.
You said
Astros Padres too?
No, I'm gonna pick the Phillies.
My man,
I can't.
I'm going Phils, bro.
Padres.
I'm going Phils. I'm going Phils because they're hot. If you look at, there's such a strong parallel between the Phillies and the Braves last year. It's fucking nuts. They had them that barely scraped into the playoffs, had a big run at the end of the season to get in. Not as dramatic, but they've been clamping teams
and firing their manager.
2-0 against the Cardinals. Yes, correct. 2-0 against the Cardinals, only lost 1 game to a Braves team we probably all had going up against the Astros, if not probably making it or winning it again, repeating. But I'm just saying.
He's saying this.
What happened?
Zach Wheel is wheeling and dealing on the Padres right now.
Dude, I'm
8
telling
strikeouts. Padres only got 1 hit at the top of the 8th. 2-0.
Telling you, dude. And I 100% agree. The pitching staff, when you go, Darvish, Joe Musgrove, deep at the back, I think they're better, but
come on, boy.
Bro, it's gonna be tough,
momentum, and
I got Musty
Danny
Musgrove.
was talking about it at bowling. Bryce Harper is that motherfucker right now, dude. He batted over 500 against the fucking Braves. He is that dude right now. He needed to get back into the
playoffs.
I was desperate for him.
Dude, he don't give a fuck about nobody right now. He's
homer today too.
Weird, bro.
Give me Astros, big time plays.
Yes.
Astros. Yeah, not like Judge.
He's always been that dude, but he's never had anything to show for it. He's a fucking dog, and he's showing it right now. I'll take the Phillies.
That's a good segue. I like you finishing off with that. So next thing now we're gonna
Go White
get into
Sox.
go White Sox. Next thing
Go
we're gonna
Giants.
get next thing we're gonna get into is Carlos Correa opting out of his contract with the Minnesota Twins.
Mhm.
Where do we believe, with a quick prediction before we get into the Dodgers, where do we believe Carlos
Cubs.
Correa ends up next year?
Dude, I honestly have no idea. Whoever's willing to pay him the most money.
The current
It's-
betting odds, the favorites in the betting odds
Oh,
are the Yankees.
God.
Wait,
Wait, but then how did they sign Judge?
that's probably why.
Yeah.
They're probably betting on Judge to
I like
leave, and
Cubs. I like the Cubs.
Cubs are number 2.
I'd be down to
on
go
the
watch
odds.
Correa cheat a little bit at Wrigley.
Who you got?
Cubs.
Cubs as well.
He said Cubs right away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the
Yeah, I said
Mariners.
that right away.
Ooh.
No, but they have JP
Ooh, that's so
Crawford already.
spicy.
They have JP Crawford already.
Yeah,
Unless they
signed
move
him.
JP to second, but don't they have a second baseman already?
Yeah, they have that dude he was playing for the
dude
Pittsburgh
from-
Pirates. He was playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was their second baseman. He's a small, short lefty. I forgot his name too. Oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue here. Frazier.
Frazier?
Tim Frazier.
No, it's not Clint. That's the outfielder from.
Wait,
they
that's
used to play.
Tim. That's a basketball player.
Yeah.
Clyde Frazier?
hold on.
Clyde the Glide. Clyde the Glide.
Wait, Clyde Frazier is
I got
not
it
even
right
Clyde the
now.
Glide. That's what's his real name?
I got it right here. Here we go. I'm getting closer. Adam Frazier. There
Thank
we go.
you.
Adam
Jesus
Frazier.
Christ, that was sad.
Yes. So they do
I
have,
guess he could get the boot.
you never know.
Dude,
Or
when you're a team that needs to make an impact,
I'll be honest, I was personally really surprised that he fucking didn't opt in because there was this whole thing that he was like super involved with the Twins and he was trying to
Well, I guess they
invite
offered
people
him.
over for the off season.
Yeah, but I guess they offered him like less than half of what he wanted or
Yes.
something.
He was
so-
in. He could opt in though for a second
Yeah,
year.
but I guess the
Of his
contract
contract.
offer that they gave him was like less than half of what he wanted. So,
Oh, the extension. You
yeah,
mean?
the
Yes.
extension
Okay,
portion.
so
Yeah.
he kind of just looked at it as like, all right, well, if
Disrespect.
you're not going to take it seriously, I'm
I
not
mean, he
going to.
did have a down year.
Yeah,
I
Well, so
believe.
what?
I think a logical move would probably be the Cubs. I think if they decide to spend.
He's still what, 26,
Yes.
25, 26? So it's not like he's not going to be part of that rebuild.
Adam with my boy Patty Wisdom.
Oh,
Patrick Wisdom.
No. Send him to the White Sox again, please.
Please.
Send him to the
Yeah,
White
you
Sox.
know they need Jesus over there.
So-
Have him play third.
Hey, you know what? Since we are talking
Radio.
about this team, the Dodgers, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run for him.
God,
If they especially if they lose
Stop
lose Trey
this.
Turner, but
Stop this.
so obviously the Dodgers losing to the Padres in the divisional series. Are the Dodgers one of the more disappointing teams in recent history? They've had the best
Yes.
record. They've
Oh,
had the best.
100%.
They've had the best team
Not
on
for me.
paper. You have 5 pennants, but you only have 1 World Series during the COVID era or the COVID season
Yeah.
to count
Hey,
for.
Jose has the MVP that year.
Exactly.
I understand. I love Jose. Go White Sox.
He had like 70
Um,
RBIs in 60 games.
Because he
but-
didn't get hurt.
Do we
He
believe
never gets
that-
hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
all your guys get
Jose
hurt.
does not get hurt.
Do we believe that Dave Roberts is out after all of this? And then what do you
I give
believe?
him
Are
another
the
year.
are the Dodgers one of the more, most disappointing teams in recent history with their payroll, with the players that they bring in, especially with their record and everything else, and they just seem to
Man.
not come through in the playoffs?
Tell Dave Roberts, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
Who
I
are
say
they getting?
wait.
Who
I
are they
say
bringing
wait. I
in?
say wait one more year
Girls, yeah.
because
They-
I want to see. I want to see Dustin May fully healthy. I want to see Walker Buehler in there. I want to see Clayton Kershaw fully healthy.
Well, I don't think you'll be seeing that.
I'm just saying. I want to see. I think Walker Buehler was
Hit the
huge,
road,
Yeah.
Jack.
I
Yeah.
agree. Walker's.
and they lost. I mean, Urias didn't really push too hot, at least compared to what he did 2020 and last year. But
Urias was on fire this year. What are you talking about?
not in the play. Didn't he get rocked in the playoffs?
He had one
talking
good.
about-
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Oh, okay,
players
okay. I got you. In the
Injured
playoffs.
that aren't in the playoffs.
Yeah, I got you.
So, and they were pretty deep in injuries. The fact that they could even sustain 100 and some wins is absolutely blasphemous to me. I don't understand it, but
Yeah. But I believe again,
give
I
them
think
one more
we're all,
year.
yeah, I think we're all on the same train that they are one of the more disappointing teams.
oh god, yeah.
Because
Oh God, yeah.
They with the players on their roster,
love it.
just from the
They won me a
offense,
lot of money this year, though.
just from the offensive side of the ball, they should be in the World Series every single year based on paper.
Even on the offensive side of the ball, they're pitching too. Like
Pitching was hurt this year.
hurt this year,
No,
yes,
yeah.
but
Last year
perennially,
was disappointing.
The what?
I think I would almost argue last year was more disappointing than this year.
oh,
Because
so-
I do think the Padres are mega fucking talented.
yeah, they
especially
are
coached
much
Juan
better.
Soto.
Yeah, they're a much more talented roster than the Braves are. Talented, yeah. Maybe
I
not
don't think
better
this
all
year.
around.
I think last year I didn't think. I think fuck.
No Acuna.
I still
this
think it
year.
was bad last year, especially after beating y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went down what 3-1 was it to the Braves, and lost in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude, they were. Yeah,
It's
last year was
tough.
more disappointing for me. But in general, they
love
are
it.
just disappointing.
Yeah,
So
it's
much.
tough.
They're
It's tough
always
to see.
disappointing.
It's tough to see though. Alrighty, I'm glad we're kind of all, at least
I
in
think
agreement
Dave
with
Roberts
that.
comes back though.
I
comes
believe,
back.
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think
we
you
just-
fire him after this season. I don't believe so.
All right, go ahead, Isaac. Sing it one more time.
Hit the road, Jackson. Don't you come back no more.
All right, see. So you go ahead, lead our college football conversation, big
Fuck
dog.
college football.
Hey, let's start it off with that. Down goes the roll tide.
Come on, don't even.
I ain't gonna lie, they messed up my parlay. So yeah, I'm hurt too.
Disgusting. Listen, dude, I'm not even gonna try to be that fan because everybody always pulls the "we got fucked" card. But God, it was terrible. I'm telling you, the game was over 4 different times, and the ref said no, and then Will Reichard said no.
There you go.
Motherfucker. Dude didn't miss a single kick last season, and he missed 3 in the last 2 weeks.
There you go.
Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt. Don't forget
stop
about
it.
the man.
I ain't forgetting about shit. I watched the whole fucking game.
Does he sound forgetful?
Put up 200 yards and 5 tutties. I mean, they weren't throwing to anybody else. I don't know how the DBs couldn't figure out that they weren't throwing to anybody else.
Get loose.
Yeah, it was pretty
You
bad.
got
It was pretty bad.
Well, to at least keep everybody up to date. So that we do have the new rankings for the
that's pretty
AP
bad.
top 25.
Georgia's
So
unstoppable.
Georgia still number
But
1.
I have a spicy take with that.
Number 2, Ohio
I
State.
think Tennessee's gonna beat him.
Tennessee has jumped up to number 3. Michigan moved up 1 spot to number 4, and they swapped with Clemson at 5. And Alabama has dropped to 6. Ole Miss rose up to 7. TCU rose up 5 spots all the way
That's
to
impressive.
8th.
They were down 2 scores with 8.5 minutes and ended up winning that game in OT. That was a very big
Yep.
win.
UCLA has jumped into the top 10, coming out at number 9. And then to round out the top 10, Oregon has jumped
yeah.
back in at
Who
5.
I think
and 1.
UCLA still plays Oregon
Yes.
Correct.
in this coming week or a couple weeks, or
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think they still play.
Mhm.
So I think one of my biggest things, obviously Alabama losing. I think USC losing
It is this Saturday.
was fucking terrible. It
And
is
we
this
call-
week, right?
Mm-hmm.
We call that though. Utah always plays when they need to show up against in a big spot.
It's
on
disappointing
national-
though. I feel like USC has a lot of talent. Maybe next year will be a better year, but I don't think Jordan Addison is probably going to the draft. Caleb Williams has 1 more year. They do have a lot of recruits coming in, but I definitely peg them as a solid team to be pushing for that 4 seed or 3 seed, honestly, if they win out. But a lot shifted with Bama losing, a lot shifted with USC losing.
Especially
TCU
if they
winning out
decide-
or one of these teams winning out definitely gives them a chance to slide in.
Especially if they decide though to move up the expansion of the college playoff to next year instead of
25,
waiting
24,
to 24-25 season. So that'll be huge for USC, I would think, in my opinion.
Shit, dude. All right, I will say this too. Clemson continues to get shafted. They won again against, was it Florida State?
Yes, they beat Florida
They had
State.
that's a solid win, and they got dropped again. Probably, I mean, Michigan did beat Penn State,
Mhm.
which was.
But
in
I still
pretty
think
dominant
Clemson was
form.
more pretty more impressive was
That's
Clemson.
what I thought too. because Michigan was close in the first half, but they exploded the second half. I thought Clemson was more dominant throughout the whole game against Florida State.
Yeah.
I think it was just because Penn State was ranked 10th versus Florida State, who's no longer ranked at all. But I wanted to. It's almost about that time where we start sliding in CFB.
That's what I was about to slide into.
CFP, sorry.
How we looking for? Now that we're kind of basically midway through the season, who's our picks? If we
Right
had
now,
top 4.
Georgia,
Bucs.
Ohio State, Tennessee, Clemson.
Yeah, what you got?
Yep, my Buckeyes made it. That's all that really matters. Georgia makes it. I think Tennessee gets in, and I'm still not putting Alabama out. I got Alabama 4.
I would agree with that.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna go same route, except I'm taking Tennessee out. I'm gonna go Georgia, Ohio State. I'm gonna go Clemson at 3, and then I'm gonna go Bama at 4.
No. So
Is
we
where
all
I'm
left
going.
Michigan out, which is funny to me.
I believe because I think
don't
they're gonna
they're
end
a
up.
threat.
Yeah, I think they're gonna lose to Ohio State this year.
I
But I
didn't think
believe.
Tennessee was a threat either.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. No, it's not. Has nothing to do with that. It does kind of. It's just the way that Michigan.
I was confident last week too.
I'm gonna remain confident because there hasn't been one team outside of the U of I has made me like itch a little bit. All right, but like when you look at Michigan, these slow starts in the first half, yes, they turn around surprisingly. But you got to come to Columbus. We're not in Michigan like last year. You come to me at the end of the season. We in Ohio. We in Columbus.
We were in Tennessee.
You're gonna come to Columbus and you're gonna get that ass waxed. Okay, so we can go ahead and get this championship. Go ahead and get this championship. We're gonna run it up on them because they ran it up on us.
Don't lose in the semifinals again.
We're not worried about nobody in the semis. I'm more worried about the championship.
What if you get Georgia?
They can't score right now, in my opinion. No, it's the slow starts. Bro, they just struggled to score against who is this? Missouri?
They put up 37.
Did I go back
What,
too far?
30-something, bro?
Week 7? They just
Week
put
7, they just
55
struggled.
against Vandy.
Okay, Vandy's
Vandy
also-
sucks.
He's talking about the week before that.
Vandy sucks. Auburn, they struggled the whole first half, and then they blew that game open.
But that struggling in the first half don't matter. If they can,
It does matter when you playing a team.
College football.
When you playing teams like that's why I got Tennessee beating them.
I disagree 100%. College football is all adjustments.
Yeah, the better.
Alabama.
That's why the
Nick
good
Saban
coaches
has
in
won
college,
6-7 national championships off of adjustments.
The good coaches
I just
in
think
college
right now,
football are, and that's the same thing why you saw Coach O fall off so hard in LSU because he wasn't making.
To me, it's
they have that system.
Look, I'm not taking nothing away from Georgia at all. I'm not taking away from Kirby Smart. I'm not doing none of that. I'm taking away from Stetson Bennett at this point, right this second.
He's playing like a fucking. I mean, he'll never be a NFL starter, but he's playing like a dog.
Right, these last couple, but like the times where they're not blowing up in the first quarter, or like they just going up and exploding to start the offense, it takes him a while to get that going. And when you're going against teams where you're going in like a Tennessee, and you got to stay with them scoring a little bit, especially when the game not being officiated the right way.
Yeah, but Georgia's defense is
I don't think
head
that's
and
any
shoulders.
I don't think that's
Alabama's.
I don't think that's any competition right there. Because
so that means Georgia beating Alabama.
Do Georgia play? Does Georgia play?
Yeah, 100%.
Georgia doesn't play Tennessee.
Yeah,
right?
if you saying that, then I'll start. All right.
Georgia and Tennessee play in a few weeks. Yeah,
they play in a few weeks.
Well, I know that. I was looking at Ohio State not playing anybody this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like
the only team they played, they had a slow start against Notre Dame. And what did they do? They made an adjustment.
Well, yeah, Isaac, what you got to say? To that?
I don't know what I don't know.
Right, but when you have to start the season hot, to go to a slow start, like back-to-back games against two shitty-ass teams, that's what my case is. It'd be different if you had a slow start against like Tennessee or something, he blew it open. It's against Missouri. Missouri's trash. Auburn wasn't good.
Played nobody.
Right. I'm not saying nothing about us. I have not said nothing about us. I just said nobody in the Big Ten to threat us. That's exactly what I've said.
Michigan.
No one ever is.
Michigan's not the threat this year. You stop that now.
Never know.
That's why
they're
the
not
Big
the
Ten is
threat.
whack. That's why y'all barely get one team in every year.
Damn.
We're gonna get one team in.
It ain't gonna be the Buckeyes.
It probably will be. They'll just lose in the semis again.
Yeah, big facts. They'll be all right.
Oh.
So I know
Iowa next week again.
I know we
They're
kind of
trash. Stop
Indiana,
calling Iowa.
Maryland.
Y'all call Iowa one one more time. And Spencer
Rutgers,
Petras,
Toledo,
No, he's saying that they're
Wisconsin,
trash.
saying
He's
that your
reading it off.
schedule is a
Ark
joke.
State, unranked Notre Dame.
I'll take it, man.
You got one good win on here. That's
I
gonna be
will
the
take
last
it.
game.
Hey,
I'll take it. If Clemson can sit up there with us, the ACC ain't shit either. So
Oh, I 100%.
so there you go. As
Except
both
for
we
N-
argue,
except for
I have
NC
not-
State, though.
I have not raised
Hey,
any
that's a big
question.
game coming up.
I'm just saying.
No, I'll take the top
And
teams.
that's not even
I'll
becoming
take,
a big game right now because the
bro,
SEC
right
State
here.
got
Can
no.
we slide in? Can we slide into the spicy take now? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm taking 4 SEC teams over anyone else.
So we're kind of mashing in our spicy take with our college football segment here. So Christian wants to throw y'all a little bit of a loop. This is something
So I
that
was
he's
saying,
passionate about.
David actually pointed this up, and I was talking about it with Carly before David even put it up here. So I was actually really happy he put that in the group chat because it was just ironic to me. So Tennessee is not even in Alabama's side of the SEC.
Mhm.
They're in the SEC East. Alabama's in the SEC West. I think I flipped that. I can never remember. But they're in Georgia's side either way. So they're going to basically, the game between Georgia and Tennessee is going to decide who goes to the SEC title game.
Mhm.
And then if Bama plays Ole Miss in, is it next week or 2 weeks? I can't remember.
Bama plays Ole Miss. They play them
Next
they
week?
play Mississippi State this week.
And then Ole Miss next
LSU,
week after
no,
that?
LSU and then Mississippi the week of November 12th.
Ole Miss, yeah.
Ole Miss November 12th is who they play.
Jesus Christ. I hate the SEC so much. But yeah, so then Ole Miss, who's also undefeated, sitting at the 7th, I believe. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're 7th right now. If they lose, that decides also who gets in. Because then if Alabama beats Mississippi, then they win out and go into the SEC title game because the 2 in the SEC will be Alabama and Mississippi, but they'll both have 1 loss
Mhm.
in the conference, and Alabama will have the tiebreaker. So then you'd be looking at Georgia and Alabama, or Alabama beating Tennessee. So like either way you look at it, there'll be 4 teams. If Alabama wins out, there'll be 4 SEC teams that are all have 1 loss and have all lost to each other. So I'm looking at it as like a potential 4-way sweep in the playoff, barring obviously, in my opinion, a Michigan and Ohio State game.
Yeah.
If one of those two teams wins out, then
And let's say Clemson has 1 loss. Let's say they lose one game
I
as well.
honestly, I think
No.
Clemson could miss.
Undefeated.
I think you would take. I think
Yeah.
if you're Tennessee and you've only lost to Georgia, or if you're Ole Miss and you've only lost to Alabama, and Alabama's the SEC champion, and Georgia has 1 loss and they are the runner-up in the SEC, and Tennessee's only loss is to Georgia.
Do we realistically think that can happen though?
Yes.
No, I'm saying to where it's
3,
4
I
SEC
100%
teams
agree.
where one of them just loses to each other.
I 100% agree they can do 3 of the 4. I think they will 100% could drop Clemson out.
So
when you gonna look,
are you saying 3 out of 4 SEC teams?
Yeah,
we're
make
talking
it
about?
in the 4.
So
Yeah.
who's your 3 out of 4?
I think they would drop Mississippi.
You think they would drop it? Yeah, where
Ole
you?
Miss.
Okay.
Which would make no sense because in that like scenario, Alabama would be the champion of the SEC, which would
So
make
you would think
Ole Miss's
that
only loss. Yeah, so then it would feel like Tennessee, but Tennessee has the Heisman front runner, so maybe they want ratings.
So I would go opposite. I would say that Tennessee loses out.
Okay.
So I would put
Having
Mississippi
beaten
in.
Alabama
I say-
already. If
Right, but Alabama has the revenge game.
I would say
Yeah.
if Alabama wins out, Tennessee sneaks in because it just makes their win looks better.
Okay, but what if now this is the other cool thing? What if Tennessee beats Georgia and then Bama has the revenge game? Dude, I'm telling you, SEC is fucking stupid.
Then I say
There's like
no,
10
because
ranked
then
motherfuckers.
Ole Miss still misses out. Because would you put Ole Miss,
Ole Miss
over Georgia?
would miss out. Okay,
'Cause
but
you're
what
not
if
gonna put
Ole
Ole
Miss
Miss
and
over
Tennessee?
Georgia.
What about an Ole Miss and Tennessee title game? Imagine that shit. Now, would you put 1-loss Georgia if their only loss was to Tennessee? Would you put a 1-loss Georgia in? Because Bama would have 2 losses if they lost to Ole Miss and they'd be out. But a 1-loss Georgia.
So in that,
Because then it would be.
I think it has to come down. It would
champion, either Tennessee or Ole Miss, then one of them would have one loss and be the runner-up, and then Georgia would have one loss at 11-1. Now is Clemson still out if they win out?
Yes.
So in your opinion, let's say if we are talking about an Ole Miss Tennessee SEC championship game, who do you believe wins the SEC championship?
Tennessee.
Tennessee in a heartbeat.
Ole Miss has the much better defense. 100% Ole Miss has the much better defense. I would argue Ole Miss's defense is probably better than Alabama's, at least the way our secondary got fucking torched. Which is sad because I think we have 3 probably future NFL players in our secondary.
That it's just like
Okay, but now Ohio State loses to Michigan, but
We
Ohio
both
State
missing out.
Wins the Big Ten.
Well, everybody gives the Big Ten a lot of credit, so I think you.
It always
Or
depends.
I guess Michigan would get in because aren't Michigan they're in the same side?
Yeah.
So never
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
When you
That's so whack, bro. Why can't there be another sides? I want y'all to meet in a title game for once.
Yeah.
Y'all
Well,
end up
especially
playing
with
fucking
these other-
Wisconsin or Michigan State in title
Well,
games.
now
No,
it's
right now we're gonna play
cakewalk.
Illinois.
Well,
Come
especially,
on, that's a cakewalk, bro.
We're gonna
especially
play
with the,
Illinois right now.
Vanderbilt would beat Illinois. Get the fuck out of here.
especially with the expansion though of the Big Ten. So you never know, they might end up doing that, splitting them. So the East and the West.
What you gonna say? USC with us?
Never know. I'm just saying in general.
Next year, maybe.
That's all I'm saying. But it is something to think about, though. That is actually very interesting.
I'm saying, like, if Ohio State loses and then the Big Ten, if whoever wins between Ohio State and Michigan, and they end up losing the Big Ten,
Yeah.
then they're out with a loss because they don't have the title game. And then even if Clemson wins out, or if Clemson loses, because Clemson still has a big game coming up, like any one of these teams losing, because like undefeated TCU with the Big 12 or
Yeah, they're in the Big 12.
like, is that getting in over one loss Tennessee to loss to Georgia?
I think we've
Is
seen
that
that
getting
though.
into one loss Ole Miss to
Well,
Alabama?
I think you're simplifying it too much because in college football, the quality, the margin of victory matters, right? So if
Yeah,
you're
because they're
winning-
gonna look deeper.
if you're
They're gonna-
if you're
Yeah,
if you're
because-
beating bad teams by 4 or 5 and another team's beating bad teams by 30,
Mhm.
it's going to make a difference when it comes
Right.
down to the
Ole
ranking.
Miss,
Yeah, 'cause right
TCU
now-
has won every game convincingly except for this last one against Oak
Yeah,
State, but
and
they
I was gonna
dominated the
say-
fourth quarter.
When you bring up the one-loss teams, like Ohio State loses, one thing that's really holding them, like just their resume back, will be that one. You gonna have that one loss to whoever it might be. Might be Michigan. That's the only team I can technically kind of see, but I don't really feel it.
Mhm.
I
But
get
then
it,
if
I
you
get
look
it,
at the
I get it.
21-10 game with the Notre Dame, it's like should have blew them out, especially after the way they played after that. Then when you
And
look
that was looking like a big win, but now
then
it's
you look
not.
at Bama and Texas though. You only beat Texas by 1, and everybody was looking at that game. It's like, that's holding
Same
you
with
down.
A&M, they only won by 4.
The thing
Yeah,
is
so-
with your guys' like prediction, or well, especially with what we're talking about mainly with the 4 SEC teams, I think it's to the point where we would really see the committee nitpick and
Right.
go into the detail, like because
It
obviously
would be like Tennessee has one loss. How bad was the Georgia loss?
and
And
then
Ole Miss, how bad was the Bama loss?
correct. And that's where the committees in the past has pissed people off because of things like that. But
They usually end up grabbing one loss Georgia or one loss Bama.
correct. But like if you're looking at it from
Because they're
the
better
scope,
than undefeated TCU.
if you're looking at it of the scope of where let's say Georgia wins, and then obviously Tennessee has a 1 loss, Ole Miss 1 loss, Bama still 1 loss. It'll be tough. But I just think we're gonna end up being pissed off in the end because we believe those 4 SEC teams are gonna be better than let's say
Anyone else.
let's say undefeated Clemson, God forbid, type of thing.
It's better
And-
than them. Don't talk about my
no,
guys.
no. But I'm saying I still believe though that they would choose 4 SEC teams over an undefeated Clemson and a 1-loss Ohio State.
Yes.
Yes.
They would.
Ohio State can't lose. Their resume is not good enough.
No.
We didn't play nobody, so this is exactly why he's telling me.
No,
we
yeah,
didn't
that's what I'm
play
saying.
nobody.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm saying there has a potential to be 4 SEC
Mhm.
teams. Clemson's resume is better than Ohio State's resume if they both went out. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
Mm-hmm. That man.
The Michigan win will be the best win out of the 2 teams, but the resume is deeper on
I
Clemson.
just Yeah, to be honest with you, because everybody we got coming up,
They
is
beat Wake
literally-
Forest, who's
So-
been ranked. They beat Florida State, who's been ranked. They would have beaten.
So Clemson's remaining schedule here, the rest of the
There's
season. So
what's the fucking tough game? I don't even want you to tell me.
they have 14th ranked Syracuse.
NC State and Syracuse. Thank you. NC State and Syracuse, who have both been ranked in the top 10. Their Syracuse 15, 14,
So no, they played NC State already.
and they won.
Yes, they
Which
won.
was sad.
So
I was actually kinda
their
hoping
last
NC
ranked
State would
team that
win.
their last ranked team that they play is Syracuse, which is this week. And then the following they have Notre Dame, Louisville, Miami, and finishing that off with South Carolina to end the
Notre Dame.
season. If we are looking at so you already talked about Ohio State, correct? The rest of the season or no?
Yeah, it's
So
only
we got
Michigan.
you got Iowa
Yeah,
this week,
Northwest-
Penn
yeah.
State next week, Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, and Michigan.
Michigan. Yeah.
You're gonna beat Iowa.
They'll have to
You just-
nitpick too, because like you have to if like they each end up with one loss, like how bad, like how good did they
But,
play
like,
against
Ohio
Penn State
State-
versus Michigan?
Mhm.
Played
I
against
honestly
Penn State.
believe though, if Ohio State marches into Penn State and bashes them, then yes, they can clear up some of that to help them
Yes,
help
I
their
agree.
resume.
I agree.
But like that's highly doubtable because I'll be honest, my Buckeyes don't start any game strong. So it's like we're
But
be
also,
playing with fire
too,
Still
there.
put up fucking
Because
70.
Penn State, if we're looking at it, Penn State's ranked 16 after the loss.
Right, because they only lost to 4.
No, but I'm saying after the loss, though, they're probably gonna go 20 something.
No, they had 16 now. That's
No,
16
I'm
is
saying-
enough. They
No,
were
no,
saying
no.
if they
I'm
lose
saying
to Ohio
if they lose to Ohio State, they're gonna keep dropping down. Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe they'll lose. Maybe out of the next 3 to 4
Well,
games, maybe they'll
They'll
lose
stay
2
ranked.
more.
They'll stay ranked.
Well, let's think about this. So they play Minnesota this week, which is an opinion they should win. They might move up into the rankings. So then all they might do is drop back down. I think the furthest they're gonna fall is like 19, 20 after that.
Yeah,
Ohio
because
State.
it's again you're losing to
Mhm.
your 2 losses are to 4 and 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll be tough, man. It's
I'm
gonna,
telling you, any
it's gonna be
team slips
interesting.
up. If TCU, Clemson, or Ohio State lose a game,
For
I guess
SEC
Michi-
teams,
I guess
it's a high
Michigan too,
probability.
but Michigan or Ohio State, one of them will be losing a game, so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
I'll say Ohio State because I think they're going to win. One of those 3 lose a game. Like you could see 3 or 4 SEC teams. I'm telling you. I'm telling you that you could see 3 in general,
Mm.
especially if Tennessee beats Georgia. You could see 3.
Man, it's gonna be interesting now. I think now a lot of us, and
But
especially
what about this?
Ooh.
2-loss Bama losing the SEC in losing the SEC title game. I think they slide to 5.
I don't think so. I don't think they'll get in.
Think they get full-
because they
yeah,
was
okay.
bringing that up last year about them,
Oh,
like,
so
sneaking
you still
in.
think you think they still get in with 2
I
losses
said, I
if they
said
lose
they
in the
slide to
SEC?
5. I said slide to 5.
Mm-mm. I don't think anybody that gets 2 losses is
Oh, okay,
automatically out.
okay. I got you.
You literally need the top 1, and I feel like the top 4 to have at least 1 loss for a 2-win team to sneak in.
Okay. It'll be
But with
interesting.
the way
man.
Clemson's schedule and
I'm so
Ohio
ready for
State's
this.
schedule is down the end, if they pass their test, they have a chance to just run the table in their 2 conferences.
all I know is we're gonna be coming back to this episode.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. That Georgia Tennessee game will really be the teller.
Yes.
Shit, don't sleep on that Kentucky Tennessee
What the
game
hell?
either,
Next
though.
week, Bama still has to play Mississippi State. They still have to play LSU, who always plays them tough.
I was
Mhm.
about to
They
say
still have to
Tennessee
play
still
Auburn,
got
who always plays them tough. They still have to play Ole Miss. Georgia has Tennessee, and they're done. I think
Yes, but yeah, we're talking about this specific scenario.
that's the
Can't
best
be
part about being
over.
on Georgia's side of the SEC. Is it's
Yes.
fucking cakewalk.
Mhm.
Oh no, I have to play Florida. Fuck out of here.
But do not sleep on Kentucky. Will Levi's is a
Kentucky
quarterback
has
caliber.
ruined multiple parlays for me. I talked them up 3 weeks ago. I'm done with Kentucky.
Hey. We knew
Y'all
too.
said it, and I didn't believe it.
We knew too. I tried to tell you.
You
Kentucky's
did try to tell
gonna,
me.
yeah.
You know what?
I'm just saying, happens every year.
Georgia's gonna fuck. Are they in Kentucky this year at least?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
I think they are because they weren't in Kentucky last year.
Georgia's in Kentucky at the like
They're
second to
gonna
last week
fuck
of the
them up.
season.
Fuck Georgia.
Man, that was good.
Roll Tide, bro.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
This that's my
Buckeyes,
favorite part.
baby.
It's my favorite part of having been a Bama fan is we can lose,
It's
and I'm still glued to the TV until we lose again. And then I'm just
But,
watching because I like sucking off Bryce Young.
Hey,
Tell me, bro. I'm
relax.
telling you, as long as we have Bryce Young, I'll never, ever think we're out of a game because we should have won that game. But Will Reichard can't kick a fucking field goal.
There you
Just
go.
hit the
Who
hope is
marched us
better.
down the field? Bryce Young.
Speaking
Who
of-
kept us? You really think any other Alabama team is keeping up with that scoring? 50
And
a
then
game?
Hooker, better than Bryce Young.
Speaking of
Come on,
Bryce,
Isaac.
speaking of Bryce, it's official. Phillies are up 1-0.
Jalen
Mm.
Hyatt,
Come on,
better than
Isaac.
Bryce Young.
Ooh.
He's
Say
just
Salma Hayek?
he's just poking the
Say
bear.
Salma Hayek?
He knows he's lying. He knows who the number 1 overall is.
Notre
That
Dame
boy still has
quarterback.
that boy still has a fucked up shoulder, and he was torching defenses.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought the game was gonna get ugly. This man said, I'm that shit. I need the Bears to draft Bryce Young. You know, I actually said out my mouth this weekend. I was like, I'm in love. I love Justin Fields because he's an Ohio State guy, but I wouldn't mind trading motherfucker for Bryce Young fast.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Bryce Young is
Give
gonna
me
be a
B.
fucking
Young, baby.
problem. He's gonna be a problem in the NFL.
I could let Bryce Young for CJ Stroud. I mean, Justin Fields and CJ Stroud too. Give me one of them. I run away. I really run away. I damn near buy.
I think Bryce is better than both.
I still need Bryce. He a killer.
Hey,
All right, end it there. Roll Tide.
real
We're
tired.
winning out.
But thank
Hey,
y'all.
Georgia again.
Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 20, the We Got Action podcast.
Yes, sir.
Again, check out our socials, TikTok, Instagram. We are on Twitter now let me even double check our Twitter because I'm not a Twitter user. But our Twitter handle is We Got Action Pod. So any of y'all checking us? Yep, at We Got Action Pod. So y'all can check out our Twitter, especially with the NBA season coming around. We're gonna be very, very live for that. But thank y'all for tuning in. Download the episode. Give us a listen. It really means a lot, especially if y'all just download. That's huge for us and growing on the platforms that we are currently on. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Amazon Podcasts as well. Again, we're everywhere. We're going to keep this rolling for you guys. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will be live next week, same time, and episode will be uploaded every Wednesday morning for y'all. Have a great rest of the week. See y'all next week, man.
Roll Tide.